hopeless sinners who has hurt all mankind. Just save his own belief. One love. What about the one heart? What about the let's get together and feel alright. As it was in the beginning. One love. So shall it be in the end. One heart. Alright. Give thanks and praise to the Lord, and I will feel alright. Let's get together and feel alright. One more thing. Let's get together to fight this holy Armageddon. One love. So when the man comes, there will be no doom. One song. Have pity on those whose chances grow thin. There ain't no hiding place from the Father of creation. Yeah, yeah. One love. What about the one? One heart. What about the let's get together and feel alright? I'm playing to mankind. One love. One heart. Give thanks and praise to the Lord, and I will feel alright. Let's get together and feel alright. let's do it a little by little. Rise from your sleepless slumber. Yes, 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 yes. We're more than sand and the seashore. We're more than numbers. All together now. Wake up and live. Wake up and live now. You see one cocoa full of basket. Already you see live big today. Tomorrow you're buried in a casket. One cocoa full of basket. Yeah, yes. Already you see live big today. Tomorrow you're buried in a casket. Walk together now. Wake up and live. Wake up and live. Keep on playing. Yeah, yeah. Break it down. Come on, man. How's the feeling over there? Yeah, 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 yeah. Come on now. You gotta wake up and live. Life is one big road with lots of signs. Yes. So when you're riding through the ruts, don't you complicate your mind. Flee from hate, mischief and jealousy. Don't bury your dog, put your dream to reality. Yeah. All together now. Wake up and live. Yeah.
Come, let I and I give thanks and praise unto the highly high Selassie high Jah Rastafari for all the good things he has done for I and I. Help us, Jah Jah, cause we put our trust in thee. Help us, Jah Jah, let us to live in love and harmony. Help us, Jah Jah, cause we're hanging on desperately. Help us, Jah Jah, please hear my plea. I hear the crying of mothers with fatherless children in Unfortunate prisoners, treated less than the humans they are. I see congested prisons that hold the victims of political war. I see misguided people living on promises that are never fulfilled. I see negligent leaders with the art of deception. They are very skilled. So help us, Jah, cause we put our trust in thee. Help us, Jah, let us to live in love and harmony. Help us, Jah, cause we're hanging on desperately. Help us, Jah, please hear my plea. I see broken communities with the afflicted people abandoning their homes. I see dismantled families who have no connection, not even by phone. I see trouble awaiting the frustrated people who cannot take no more. And I am anticipating the fulfillment of prophecy that is behind the door. So help us, Jah, cause we put our trust in thee. Help us, Jah, let us to live in love and harmony. Bless us, Jah, cause we do belong to thee. Help us, Jah, please hear my plea. Come, let I and I lift I and I eyes up unto the hills, from whence cometh I and I help. I and I help cometh from Jah Rastafari. Will not suffer and I put to be moved. Jah that keepeth Israel shall never slumber. Jah that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep. Selah.
Hey, you remember what Donnie just sing? If you know not God, you know not love. No, no. God is love. Oh, yes, no. I know your love is superior. Your devil complex inferior. Oh, yes. Worshiping material. Bowing to your silver and gold. I know your love is superior. Your devil complex
Good morning and welcome to the Morning Connection, coming to you live from our Bess100 FM studios in Kingston, Jamaica. Good morning to those who have joined us on air and online. I start with those online because I am already getting the usual very generous greetings out of the UK. Delroy Henry, good morning to you. And I see Keon Brown, you're early too, saying greetings and salutations. He said, my triple-coated, melanated people. We're well secure. Good morning to you, my brother.
Morning.
To those of you who are on air, I want to say a very special welcome to you. I know that during this time, first month of the year, they have to say January is usually what? Dry? There's an expression.
Tamarind season.
Tamarind season.
Tamarind season.
Yes. I know you're heading out, and I am sure that you're kind of contemplating all kinds of things. I know I was coming down to the studio this morning, and I feel like it is necessary just to say to you, hold strain, continue to be positive in your outlook. A lot of things are changing, and the thing to know is what you see, what is appearing to your eyes, what you're hearing, it is not as it seems. And there is a very positive outcome for everyone who makes that distinction between what the world is throwing at you and what your Father in heaven has provisioned for you. On the flip side of every disaster, there is a blessing and glory to be revealed. That's what I want to remind you of this morning, because there are a lot of things happening in Jamaica, and you may be thinking, whoa, if it's happening up there, so what's going on in my corner of the world? Just remember, it's an upside down world. The first shall be last, the last shall be first. The man who looks like he's prospering, it's a facade in many, many ways, unless that man is rooted in something that you can tell is solid. We were talking about foundations a couple of days ago, and that conversation remains live in my spirit, and it should be live in yours too. Just examine the foundation on which you're doing things and make sure that you fix it up if it looks like it is eroding. Know that if it is made of sand, it will surely follow the water when the water hits it. Just establish your foundation and be patient. This is not a game for the swift. Well, I shouldn't say that, because Mr. Bolt must be surely thinking about some hard things this morning. And he was very swift.
No,
but it's not a game for the swift. It is for the man who endures to the end. Good morning, Pastor Percival.
Good morning, Sister Minett.
Yeah, try to decide what to call me.
Yes, this morning.
You could call me Auntie Minett.
Oh, yes.
I got an Auntie Minett yesterday.
I like that. I like that expression. But in spite of everything, Psalms 9 comes.
Let me greet the people in the studio, and then you can Psalms them up.
No Psalms them up
Good
at 6:30. 6:30
morning
already.
to the producer and the engineer. When we come back, Pastor, we'll chant a psalm.
You know that song?
Oh, yeah.
Praise the Lord, praise the Lord. God is good. This is your radio pastor and friend, Reverend Simon Peter Jones, inviting you, my friends, to listen every Tuesday evening on Bess100 FM at 7:30 p.m. for the program The Voice of Hope, as we extend hope to the hopeless in this dying world. God is good. Be encouraged. Hope is in the Lord.
Vejan Printers for all your printing needs. We specialize in calendars, flyers, brochures, and more. Call us today at 968-7506. That's 968-7506. Or visit us at 4 East Bloomsbury Road, off Hagley Park Road. Vejan Printers, your best choice in printing.
There will be days when you're too tired to move, to drive, but you think you have to because your vehicle won't wash itself, right? But no, you don't have to visit a car wash. 123 Mobile Car Wash will come straight to you. Yes, you heard right. 123 Mobile Car Wash is offering services in Kingston and St. Andrew and St. Catherine. We shampoo and detail cars, trucks, offices, and more. No job too small. Call us at 876-6 631-3400. 123 Mobile Car Wash. We come to you.
For a better choice in all your electrical supplies, A, authorized 3M dealer and better brand names. B, better service including free island-wide delivery. C, all major credit and debit cards accepted. It's ABC Electrical Sales. Shop number 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10. Open Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Saturday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. We make your electrical jobs as easy as ABC. Call 754-382-528 or fax 754-3659. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice.
Jamaica, we're going up and not under. No more slaves any longer. We were once weak, but now we are stronger, stronger, stronger. Join me, Darren Chosen Smith, Mondays to Thursdays from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. inside Lifted, right here on Bess100 FM, 100.1 to 100.9 FM. Tune in and be informed, motivated, entertained, and spiritually lifted. Your weekdays will never be the same again. Mondays to Thursdays from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. inside Lifted on Bess100 FM, 100.1 to 100.9 FM with yours truly, Darren Chosen Smith. Tune in and be lifted.
Half a tree, one already, 200. Ready, mama? Ready. Is this the confusion you feel when trying to work your way through medical systems in Jamaica? Try a dose of Ask Dr. Mary every Thursday at 5 to 6 p.m. Let Dr. Mary help you understand your medical problems and bring you to a calmer place.
Bess100 FM is the authentic voice of Jamaica, promoting your prosperity with better vibes and better music. Let us promote your goods and services for you. Advertise with us. For more information, call our office at 876-276-8935. That's 276-8935.
The Morning Connection is not your usual talk show. We aim to stimulate discussion and chart new paths to self-empowerment. So please join us, Minett and Percy, on The Morning Connection, Mondays to Thursdays, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Bess100 FM.
It's good, it's better, but nothing beats.
Joy
I want the whole of we to chant. That is one from the archives. That's like Steel Pulse a long time ago. But Psalms 9 says, I'll give thanks and praise the Lord with all my heart. I will tell aloud all your wonders and marvelous deeds. I will rejoice and exalt in you. I will sing praise to your name, O Most High. When my enemies turn back, they stumble and they perish before you. For you have maintained my right and my cause. You have sat on the throne, judging righteously. You have rebuked the nations. You have destroyed the wicked and unrepentant. You have wiped out their name forever and ever. The enemy has been cut off and has vanished in an everlasting ruins. Minett, as you were just encouraging people this morning, it's interesting that you jokingly said chant a psalm. And it is interesting if we listen to the lyrics of that Steel Pulse. It is about giving praise to God, understanding that there were people before you, the Solomons, the Moses, the Elijah, who says, let us determine who is God today. You do your thing to your altar, but you answers by fire. So those of us who believe and trust in the Almighty, yesterday we spoke about the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. Watch Him to continue to work in your life. But it begins, I tell people all the time, you praise the Lord, you give thanks to Him, you extol Him in the situation. Because when you do that, you're saying, God, you are above my circumstances. You understand the beginning and the end. Indeed, the word says you are Alpha and Omega. You are the Ancient of Days. Give Him praise, worship Him, fear Him, and He promises you that He's going to direct you in the path that you should go. Do not be cast down, O my soul.
Why art thou cast down
my
within me?
Yes.
Hope thou in the Lord.
Yes, and so that's why we're encouraging all of the persons who are listening to our voice this morning. Do not be cast down in terms of the circumstances that you see before you. Remember that Father God, as Elaine says.
Those reasons, some of them are very personal to the individuals, and you may never know the true story. What I am moved to say this morning is, don't look at the man who has fallen and failed to get up and project that on your own outcome. Just consider that whatever it is that has kept him from rising, you will overcome it.
Yes.
I know that because the tamarind season curses on January. Many persons going through a dry season right now may feel like it is impossible to get to a place where, all is well. One of the things that I have found very useful is to shift my perspective.
Yes.
And begin by saying, all is well. It is well. It is well right now because I am still alive. It is well because so long as I am alive, I have the opportunity to do something that can change my own circumstances and the circumstances of those around me. So start by accepting in your spirit that it is already well with you, so that you don't have to look at someone who is not doing well and assume that that is your fate. I feel like that is something to remember this morning. But beyond that now, we have so many things that we wanted to speak about yesterday.
And still continue, and then after today, more comes.
Yeah, because the things we're seeing unfold, those who have the
eyes to see
and the ears to hear, and who have a sense of times and seasons and understand that all things move in cycles, and to some extent the march of technology, the rapid march of technology and the swift movement of information from one person to the other and from one institution to the other, and the ways in which we tend to react to information that we have, and we react instinctively. I would say it's not as if when you get a piece of information, you have the opportunity to check with all stakeholders and shape your next move based on what you gather. We tend to, it's a chain reaction. We react to what the man before us just did, and so on and so forth. So at the end of the day, what you have is the cumulative effect of many, many individual decisions, and it can be quite daunting. Why did I know that there would be a major shakeup in the financial sector? From even before COVID, I'm going to tell you why I projected it. I looked at the great injustices that were apparent in how capital was managed, how it's administered, where regulators are put in place to ensure a certain type of outcome for disadvantaged persons. I saw the disadvantaged getting more disadvantaged, and those who were already fat and comfortable getting sleeker and overfed.
You mean fat cats?
Not even cats, more like cattle.
Okay.
a bigger beast. In my own experience, sitting at the table, hearing how persons express themselves, how they shape policy, seeing the complete absence of any heart for the people in the places where the big decisions are made, I knew that we were sowing some bad seeds and we would reap the harvest that flows from it, no matter what time it takes to mature.
That's what the song was just about.
Yes.
Yes.
And it really is, as long as you're not seeing those who are, let's say, at the base of the pyramid, if you don't see those persons moving up, you know that there's something unhealthy in your system and in your society. What we've seen, the rising crime and violence, the disaffection of persons from political participation, the decline in the education system, the way students are no longer children, of the appropriate age. You can't call them children. They've taken on the affectations of a way more mature and sophisticated and, I would say, wayward group. Meaning, you hear about students using their cell phones in school to carry on their scamming business. Yeah. And that is rising at a faster pace than you see the positive things rising. When you see that, you know that that's like a cancer spreading, and it requires radical treatment in order for it to change. So there has to be kind of an implosion before you will see that new growth, because many of us are watching and are counteracting the bad seed that was planted. We're changing the fertilizer. We're teaching new farming techniques. We're pushing and pressing and advancing at a pace which means a good harvest is in the future. But right now, there has to be a clearing of the field and a burning. The field is burning. The field is burning. I knew it has to hit the banks, because the wealth that is accumulated in this country, the banks are the managers.
True.
And they then become one of the shepherds. When you talk about the good shepherd versus the bad shepherd, the one who eat up the flock and treat it in an unwholesome way. Right. So you are going to see major crises in these areas. Of course, there's the fact too that on the side of government, the regulators who are appointed to keep the players in line and to make sure. Let me tell you, if you read what is on the front page, the Financial Services Commission, at the level of investigating, monitoring, and reporting, were doing their stuff.
What?
There are levels and there are levels. You send out an investigator, he goes out, he looks, he accurately reports on what he sees in the field. It comes back, it goes to a supervisor or a manager, and it gets right up to board of directors level,
And then
where the princes have their connections, their network. You see, when you see all of these things, I'd fire the whole board of directors of the FSC. And those who gone already resign or retire or whatever, I would find a way to bring them to account.
Okay.
You cannot have this kind of thing happening in an institution from 2013 and maybe even before.
And nothing was done?
And the institution continued to be in the field, taking people money, doing whatever it is they do until now. Of all the people to be robbed, you know, Usain Bolt, who don't have inherited money. Usain Bolt's money was acquired through the sweat and the hard work and sacrifice
that is really
that
sweat,
he made. It's literal sweat.
I remember he was, I've told you I've done chaplaincy at some of the meets, and we're over there, and he was saying, boy, this work hard, man.
Well, some of us might disagree.
He said hard. He said, no, man.
The fact of the matter is,
Glenn Mill said to him, he said, do the thing, man. And he said, boy, coach is hard,
Yeah, well.
Yeah, but it's really sweat. And
the truth is, and the big emphasis on it is that Usain Bolt did not inherit money. A lot of the persons in this country who have money, the money is coming from sugarcane and black sweat and blood and labor in slavery. It's coming from, it's inherited wealth. It's generational. And if you look at, I'm sure one of the reasons why Usain's name is the front runner in this, if you look at some of the other names, you might say, well, easy come, easy go. Or you might say, they had it for a long time. Or you can't say anything but Bolt. We watch Bolt rise.
All of us.
For Bolt to be robbed is a grave injustice. For Bolt to be robbed in Jamaica is an even graver injustice. I love how God's heart is shaped around the equity of these things and how he will use this thing that happened to Usain. Usain, you will make multiple, sevenfold. What is the guarantee again?
Restoration.
The restoration will hit you. You won't have hand to receive that money. So, settle your heart if you are feeling that this is disastrous. Settle your heart and know that all of this, what happened to you is the linchpin. You know how a grenade has a pin? That's the pin that's going to cause this thing to shake up and come to the right place. Because I don't see this as the failure of one individual or a group of individuals, greed and moral. I see it as the failure of a regulator. Do you know why the financial sector is so heavily regulated?
Because of the meltdown.
It is to keep, no, that's one meltdown. But from time immemorial, if you are, it's like how the government want to use state of emergency to keep us on a lawful path. The idea that if you ride herd on this industry as tightly as possible, these things won't happen. So the smallest default must be seen as a fraud of monumental proportions is at the door.
No, but
I wish Lowell would get his mic up and talk to us on this.
No, the
necessity for regulation in the financial sector.
Because remember, one of the things why people said it is so tightly regulated was because of the looseness that happened with the meltdown, and they said
but remember, you've had meltdowns all the time. I'm going beyond that.
No. What I'm just a point I'm making.
Yes.
Is the meltdown that happened, which the government had to bail out and things.
Yeah, but I'm saying it's not that. It's not that. And let's look at it a little deeper. Remember now that meltdowns can happen because international forces can cause a prudent and an honest, well-run bank to crash. That can happen.
Yes.
No fault of the regulators. There is proper oversight, but factors beyond the control of the institution can cause it to crash.
Okay.
For example, there's a run on the bank because a vicious rumor has been circulated about the bank. Or there's a run on the bank because a massive judgment was awarded to one person, and that judgment caused many to fear that the bank is going to go under, which is a next topic of discussion. There's a run on the bank out of, maybe the bank is affiliated with an institution in another country, and that institution collapsed.
No, I understand all of that.
Yeah.
Okay.
That is not about regulation. Regulation is because, you see how we've been talking about the Prime Minister's declaration and how the Integrity Commission's inability to publish it means something. SSL, Stocks and Securities Limited, I forget their former names because they've been reinvented many times.
Yeah, that's true. They were another name, yeah.
Failed to file their annual report in 2016. They failed to file audited accounts. And from as far back as 2013, they were flagged for granting credit to related parties and other persons in violation of the directives issued by the FSC on October 22nd from 2013.
So they've been doing that?
Absolutely. Every time, every one of these infractions should have sounded an alarm.
Should have shut them down. That's what it is. Should have shut them down.
Because when you are flagged for granting credit to related parties, that tells you don't have a mature sense of what conflict could represent. Are you coming on, Laura?
Conflict of interest.
You're going to weigh in on it?
Watching.
Yeah. When you can't file your audited accounts, like we have the situation with our Prime Minister's declaration has been filed but can't be published. You can't pull together audited accounts. That means your auditor possibly can't
sign off on it.
Your transactions are not looking sound. You're not either your documentation is not in good order, or you don't have documentation for some things, or what you have it documented on this side for one transaction is out of sync with what you have over there, so for another transaction.
So we understand. So the fact is the auditors
and all of those things, Percy, are signs that either money laundering is going on. And I'm saying it not because I know anything about SSL. I'm not accusing them of anything. I'm just
the book's not in order.
Opening your understanding of the things that can be happening behind the scenes, why a financial institution cannot file declarations, cannot complete audited accounts, are doing things that are not permitted in the industry.
Board. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
There are some people who, on the streets, many questions are asked about the source of their wealth and how they are managing to conduct business, knowing what people think and what people say. Then you say, what financial institutions are handling that person's business? How they get licensed? How are they able to navigate the world of high finance, which is so regulated, even in Jamaica, knowing what is commonly believed on the streets?
On the street, when you hear some things on the street,
yes.
don't throw it out.
You wonder how even that person could have a bank account when we know the effort that it takes for the ordinary person to establish a bank account.
You know what you're talking about, how much reference you have to get and proof of address and all of that. So the question now.
So this tells you that there are financial institutions in Jamaica under the jurisdiction of the FSC and the Bank of Jamaica too, who are all breaching the laws as we know them and are doing so with impunity until they make a mistake and thief money from Bolt, who is like, and you steal from Bolt is like you steal from yourself now. You're conflicted, you need to confess.
You see, a lot of this is as a result of a free market economy. Now, that is the excuse that they'll use for just allowing, let me just say, allowing things to happen loosely. No, in this such a small country, you have so many different institutions popping up. And a lot of them will come about because of the lack of service, proper service, right across the board for everybody. And so persons will see what they think is a gap in the market and they'll set out to do it. Of course, the regulators have a duty to determine, what this person is coming in the market to do, and so on and so forth. And to look at those who are in the market who are supposed to be offering services at a particular level, and they are not doing it. So you see, the responsibility is square at the feet of our regulators who need to regulate. And to regulate is not just about stopping people. It's about looking at the entire system and see what needs to happen there and to recommend or make the changes where they are necessary. That don't happen in our country.
Except with carousel,
right?
Please.
Remember, I worked for a company years ago that was forced out of the market. Similar to what happened to carousel. True. Don't forget that.
You've had 2 experiences.
Don't forget that. Mm-hmm. So it's like out of the frying pan straight into the fire. And this was a Fortune 500 company.
In another jurisdiction.
A Fortune 500ed company.
You should explain a little bit more because I think many persons have forgotten.
These things, some of these things you put them behind you. But I know that it was as a result of local players in the market who decided that they should not come in. They cannot allow them to come in because of the level of competition they represent. And so you see now the kind of, what should I say, the inequity that exists within the system. And it goes right across industries, especially industries where big money is involved.
Is at play. Mm.
Yeah.
And long vested interests.
Exactly.
Because, as you said, I recall dealing with a situation, there was a large cold storage facility being set up in St. Anne. And after the man had borrowed heavily and established this world-class facility and showed the potential, to really threaten some of the importers of beef and so on.
The big players in the market.
The big players in the market. The Ministry of Finance waived the import taxes on beef so that a local investor in that market would just bring in meat at prices below anything this man was taking.
Who was the Minister of Finance then? I think we should take the break and come right back to it.
Yes. Yeah.
You're simply the best. Better than all the rest. Better than anyone. Anyone I ever met. You're simply the best.
Bess FM-100 on your dial. Keep listening.
When it comes to running a successful business, there are 2 main issues entrepreneurs face. The first is creating a good product, and the second, finding steady customers. 60 intrepid business owners are getting assistance from the government to solve the second problem. The group will be accompanying Minister of Industry, Investment and Commerce Senator Orban Hill and a technical team to Guyana on January 23 to make linkages and hopefully expand the market for their goods and services. The trade mission will last for 1 week. You're probably wondering why Guyana? Well, for one, their economy is growing at a rapid pace, and there is a need for essential services, several of which Jamaica can provide. The other is that Guyana has a newfound resource in oil and has cash ready to invest in the growth and development of their country.
The IMF is expecting them to grow north of 30% annually through the next few years. That means that for a population of about 580,000 Guyanese on 83,000 square kilometers of land, there's a great amount of room to grow. Sure, they always had forests. Yes, they have great rivers, great waterways, but there was not the cash to develop these economic assets and to build new ones. Hospitality, hospitals, schools, all these have to be built, roads have to be built. And so I see the relationship that we're seeking to build with Guyana as a vital one.
This is our second trip to our CARICOM neighbors, and several of the delegates are returning to expand on opportunities generated during the first trip in October last year. Connex Services Limited, the industry leader for Jamaica and the Caribbean in the field of telecommunication engineering, has begun operations in Guyana. The company has over 500 engineers on staff, and CEO Dean Nevers says this is the perfect opportunity to break new ground.
And I see it as an important part for us to export our technical services across the Caribbean. Jamaicans were leaders in this sector, and I think it would help in terms of reducing our unemployment rate, in terms of looking at export, not just goods, but services is very important. And as leaders in the sector, we are actually ready.
Jamaica is bringing a wealth of experience and expertise in several vital sectors that can help Guyana achieve its development goals faster. Among them, construction, technology, banking, and education.
And as you can imagine, with the economic boom that is coming to Guyana, there's going to be heavy demand for construction, not only services, but also construction supplies. And so we have a couple of companies in that side that are also making the trek. We also have companies in the industry of banking and finance. Again, very related to development and infrastructure will be the need to capitalize those types of projects, and Jamaican financial institutions are going to be positioned to be at the forefront of those engagements.
Acting JAMPRO President Shillette Cox. Services aren't the only thing Jamaica is bringing to Guyana. Some local food manufacturers and farmers are bringing several of their items in hopes that they find favor with Guyanese consumers.
By far, however, with export being a primary focus of JAMPRO, for us, one of the important inroads that we want to make in Guyana is to expose our exporters, both on the manufacturing and agricultural side, to new buyers and new distributors in the Guyanese market.
Heart NSTA Trust, several local universities, research companies, and several members of the Jamaica Manufacturers and Exporters Association round out the list of delegates. The week-long mission ends on January 28, which will see the team returning to the island one step closer to exporting Jamaica's best to Guyana. That's where we leave it this week. Until we meet again, I'm Andre Palmer.
A production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.
Praise the Lord, praise the Lord. God is good. This is your radio pastor and friend, Reverend Simon Peter Jones, inviting you, my friends, to listen every Tuesday evening on Bess100 FM at 7:30 p.m. for the program The Voice of Hope, as we extend hope to the hopeless in this dying world. God is good. Be encouraged. Hope is in
For a
the
better
Lord.
choice in all your electrical supplies, A, authorized 3M dealer and better brand names. B, better service including free island-wide delivery. C, all major credit and debit cards accepted. It's ABC Electrical Sales, shop number 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10. Open Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., Saturday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. We make your electrical jobs as easy as ABC. Call 754-382-528 or fax 754-3659. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice.
Vegan Printers for all your printing needs. We specialize in calendars, flyers, brochures, and more. Call us today at 968-7506. That's 968-7506. Or visit us at 4 East Bloomsbury Road, off Hagley Park Road. Vegan Printers, your best choice in printing.
Looking to clean your vehicle super clean? 123 Clean Car Wash, located at 2¼ Osborne Road, Kingston 10. Entrance on Grove Road, below Tropical Battery. They wash and vacuum, undercarriage wash, engine wash, polish and compound, shampoo and detailing. Call them at 876-631-3400. 123 Clean Car Wash, the best in the business for a cleaner wash.
1, 2, 3, believe me, it's so easy. 1, 2, 3.
Hey, what's up? It's your girl, Lady Lee, the Queen of the South, and I'm inviting you all to trailblaze with me on the best of the best radio station, the Bess100 FM, Mondays through Thursdays, 2 to 5 p.m. You can't afford to miss it on your airwaves. Yes, Trailblaze with Lady Lee right here, Mondays to Thursdays, 2 to 5 p.m. on the best of the best, Bess100 FM. Mwah.
Half a tree, 100, half a tree. Bossy, how you do I take taxi star?
Jano, I want to tell you, say, 2 months now, my transmission mash up, and me check everybody and can't hear nothing positive.
Yeah, hear me? You waste all that time I shop around and never call the experts. Winters Auto have them. Them have over 35 years of experience and them diagnose the problem and get back your transmission brand new. For them service excellent and efficient. Trust me, man. Yeah, hear me? Call them at 929-7040 or go to them at 106 Maxfield Avenue, Kingston 13 and talk directly to the boss. Just tell them I'm me send you.
Wow, you big star. Yeah, man, respect my boss.
Yeah, try calling her, cause trust me.
Waiters, Auto Spares and Repairs, good afternoon.
What a relief.
What should a taxi service do for you? On-Time Taxi Service is more than just a ride to the other side of town. They offer clean and spacious vehicles, reliable service, and promise to always look out for their customers. They'll come when you call and take you where you want to go on time.
Call us at 926-3866.
We are something special on the road.
The Morning Connection is not your usual talk show. We aim to stimulate discussion and chart new paths to self-empowerment. So please join us, Minett and Percy, on The Morning Connection, Mondays to Thursdays, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Bess100 FM.
It's good, it's better, but nothing beats.
Welcome back. We're touching on some sacred cows, so we can expect a stampede at some point. You were talking about how the regulatory environment is structured in the finance sector. Before we took the break, you reminded me that some years ago, a Fortune 500 company sought to enter the sector in Jamaica, did very well for 2 years while it was going through the regulatory process. And then a particular minister of finance, in fact, they conducted a raid on the company.
Yes, the company did everything it should have. It
with the same FSC.
It applied for registration, yes. All the representatives applied as well. And the next thing you know, we were told that we were going to be raided.
Paid its bond.
And we were shut down.
Didn't that go to the...
So that shutdown thing, it followed Lowell.
Didn't go
it went to the Privy Council.
Yeah,
Lowell sued.
Well, I went to the Privy Council.
Yeah, Lowell sued. Only him of 25 persons.
But, so that is what happens in
when we
country.
went to the Privy Council, we discovered that legislation that the government passed to try and immunize itself from any blowback arising from their action, because the FSC at the time did not have the requisite statutory authority to do what it did, but moving, I say, in malice against the company that was posing a threat to the well-being of the local operators. It went in preemptively, seized equipment and records and so on, and led to the termination of contracts for all of the agents who were working with the company, including Lowell. And Lowell was the only one who went to the Privy Council. And so we got to see behind the scenes how government manipulates their own laws and regulations in order to create an unjust result.
The traffic
and
act, remember that?
Yes, and then Lowell came to Carousel and carrying bad luck. I never saw the link. No, I wasn't.
The make laugh though.
It's Lowell fault. It took me all these years to realize. And then Carousel.
Yeah, but you were the attorney. Don't forget that.
Well, that's why it lasted so long. It would have anybody else, and they would have killed us in a day. But it took them like 3 years of grueling effort.
Well, the first thing is we couldn't get justice locally.
We had to go to the thing.
I mean, until we went to the Privy Council, and I sat there.
That was for Lowell's
and
case.
listened to the councillors speak on the matter. That's I mean, when I sat there, I said to myself, listen, regardless of the outcome of this, at least finally somebody heard and understood
what you were saying.
My position. Yes, and articulated the right way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And those white men were very protective of his reputation and his ability to work.
Let me tell you, man.
They put the FSC lawyer they really grilled him on it and said, what are you going to do about it? It was interesting. I'm no great fan of the Privy Council. I think it has served its time.
All of that, they didn't come down too heavily on the government.
No, they didn't. They didn't come down heavily on the government at all.
For want of a better word, a kind of win-win situation, meaning, you know.
Yeah. They didn't come down heavily on the government.
They left them with their dignity, and I mean, I was fine.
They
made okay to go back and practice.
They did make the point, and good. Those who like to search and read can look for Lowell Lawrence against the FSC. It's widely reported. There's a Privy Council decision on it, and from that time you could see that government is not beyond passing a law overnight, retroactively, and getting it published years after they did whatever misdeed in an effort to cover themselves.
Remember that my case would have impacted the case against
Dial
at the time.
And it did impact the case against Dial very positively for Mr. Thwaites.
Yeah.
Because
Peter John Thwaites?
Yes. Because they had taken him, the same FSC had taken him before the magistrate's court for carrying on an insurance business without a license. And in the midst of his predicament, Lowell's case was argued, and the fact that the FSC did not have the statutory power at the time. The magistrate did better than the Court of Appeal judges in Jamaica. She took the point and dismissed the case, the charges, or he won. Mr. Thwaites won in his case in the magistrate court, while Lowell had to go to the Privy Council at great expense to get any kind of justice. And that's just one situation. I know about the cold storage one in St. Anne, this man who had borrowed heavily, and the whole financial premise of his business was torn away when the Minister of Finance, it was Mr. Omar Davies at the time, granted some kind of tax waiver on the importation of beef. Making the whole storage of his business and the business he intended to do with local cattle farmers just wiped out the foundation of it. And of course, the banks called the loans and so on and so forth. And he was out of business. I'm not sure who, because when I came into it, the business was being put in bankruptcy.
Yeah, but
when I met him, and then we know so many more where the regulators seem to have great zest and zeal to deal with some people that involves shutting down their business, and then while all of that is going on, there's an SSL.
Yeah, because
known to be connected umbilically to one of the political parties, known to be founded by monies from a set of people that are recognizable. And you can see that the FSC staff was doing its work.
They did their job, because you need to read what they said.
Yes.
Among the allegations were unsafe and unsound practices, offering unregistered securities, an incomplete request for proposal highlighted by 7 of 30 client agreement form inspected, which did not indicate risk appetite of the client. That's very important to know.
Yes, risk appetite is important.
Because
I mean, no, you gamble with people money who can't take it. Old people who might need their cash next week for surgery, going here now that the money do something very speculative and dodgy in another part of the world, and you can't get back your money.
Yeah, and then FSC staff were also unable to confirm the value of funds in clients' bank account as at April 30th, 2016. That's 6 years ago, due to inconsistencies between SLL internal records and reconciliation documents provided by the banks.
And the worst one for me is this one. Not all forms with clients opening SSL accounts indicated source of funds.
But that is mandatory now, you know.
Can you imagine
If
that?
you go into the bank with $500, they might ask you source of
But
funds.
if you go to Western Union and collect a little bit of money,
But
they
them
want
say,
to know.
no, with a person, no, it's serious. If you're collecting money over $1,000, you have to have 3 sources of ID, proof of address, and
You're
then
talking
grill
about,
you.
you're talking about 1,000 Jamaican dollars.
$1,000 US.
No,
no,
the
but
one
people
that-
know it. Mr. Man cost bad what our Western Union and say.
Which are $1,000?
During
If you're collecting money,
yes,
you have to declare.
Over a certain amount.
You were saying over a certain amount.
Oh, you're
you
talking
need-
about
you
what
need
is required at a
three
certain
different
level.
IDs.
You have to explain where the person get the money from, all kind of a thing.
Listen to me. During the pandemic, my sister sent me some money for my mom to do something. She sent me money, and I went. The man asked me what me I gonna use the money do.
How weirdo and
I
all
know.
kind of intrusive
So now
questions.
I can understand wanting to know source of funds because you don't want unclean funds in your economy.
Use of funds.
But use of funds?
gonna
What
use it.
me going to do to the money?
You gonna do
I
it.
said, are you serious?
I'm going to be a cake and go look after my dog and thing.
Hey, listen, I have a friend who, when they ask him source of funds, him say, what you usually say again? Say I'm a prostitute.
That thing's my class.
No, he write it.
Yeah.
My friend said, when them say source of funds, him write it and see what you going to do about it.
They can't know nothing about it.
But it's just to show you. I remember asking the guy who was saying to me use of funds, and I said, why would you ask me that? He says, oh, Bank of Jamaica. So whatever it is, they're telling their people when they train them for these jobs, it's being put out there that the regulatory system is so robust that if you were to say, I need to pay a man who may ask to kill my husband, as if it's gonna mean something. Like when you get certain responses, there's a form you fill out and it goes to MOCA or it goes somewhere. They make it seem as if it means something, that the regulators are really working. But it is punitive on people who don't shift the needle one direction or another. You and me who don't have $1 million sitting around at any time have to fill out 1,000 forms to do simple things, while SSL is not even taking information on
their own
source
workers.
of funds.
Yeah.
Imagine that in this day and age.
Yeah, source of funds.
Years ago, I remember going through that anti-money laundering thing.
Course.
Yeah, when
The
it just
training.
started.
Yes. Then comes the other whopper. Regulators also said they observed that SSL was engaged in a loan business contrary to the law.
But why didn't shut them down?
Ask Alliance, who never have license to do US dollar loan and end up before the court and ended up with their business sold to another prince.
And that was so efficiently done.
Oh, yes. Even
Boom,
to the
boom,
sale
bam.
of the business.
Boom, bam, boom, boom.
So, yes, it is time that you have the big shake-up, and I'm sorry, Bolt, that you are, but you know what? God uses
in
these
wisdom.
things. On the other side of that, it's a great glory and a blessing for you, because maybe it's going to be called Bolt's Law.
Yes.
That's how they do it in America.
You know what concerns
You
me?
advocate for righteousness to take back its place.
The
They
likelihood
name the law
of
after you.
persons who have suffered loss in this situation, of them getting back their money, because that money don't disappear.
No, it changes hands, and you got you
And
you
that
track
is
it
something
down
that
if you're
can
good.
be traced.
Well, $6 million US can't hide. 10 million even worse.
I was saying to, it was a big discussion last night, and my daughter and my son and
Yeah.
time. I said, when you look at it, $6 million, $900 million,
Can't hide.
And I recall something
And
which
you one little staff inside a bank,
$900 million.
Impossible.
They need to stop it.
Then who is buying it?
They need to stop it.
That's why we're talking about it in such detail. Average Jamaican listening to this, you must know, if your bank account swelled from 500,000 to 15 million, they're probably going to send SWAT.
They must say, where you get the money from?
It can't happen.
Well, I know.
If you sell a property and the money is to be transferred to your account, you better be in the bank with your sale agreement and your copy of documents to show where this money coming from. So how that money could move
from where to where
tells you there's complicity with the banks. Meaning SSL have to keep accounts at a commercial bank because they're not a commercial bank.
So
they have a bank who is moving around monies with them. When Alliance went down, I had a conversation with one of the investigating officers because there were some things with Alliance that intersected with Carousel. And I had a very frank discussion concerning it. I said it is impossible for Alliance to fall without their commercial bank following right behind them. It is impossible because Alliance cannot put transactions through a regulated bank that is following the rules
without it being red flag,
without it being caught.
But let me show you. I was met a gentleman, and he said to me he has a business, and the guy migrated and was sending money through him. He said, "Boy, I want to buy a house for my mother. So can you just deal with it? Because if I send it, the people go and yam up the money." As in, so he sends the money to his boss, and guess what happened? Them freeze all of him boss accounts. Him could 7 or 11. You know his boss funds became unfrozen at BOJ. The young man who was overseas in Canada working in oil had to send all of him pay slips them
to show that he could afford to do it.
Yes. And that was $25 million.
We thought about 900 million.
I want to see somebody say, boy, when you steal money, you must make it big. Because when you make them small amount, that's when them punish you.
No, sir. We make joke of it, but it just speaks to the hypocrisy, the double two sides
double
of the
standards
in this country. And we've been talking about it, We've been making the declarations.
But you see, during the break, we were talking about the Auditor General.
Yes.
And it is a point that I think we should.
You want me to make my radical point?
Because
no, we don't agree with your
it's
point.
one thing.
That's right, radical.
It's one thing when you uncover these things and you speak about it, then nothing happens. And I don't understand what's up with that. Nothing happens.
So let's place the issue on the table squarely. Minett said, well, first we talked about the Auditor General making a report citing all these breaches and misdeeds that takes place in the public space in government. And you see it happening season after season. She's reporting on the same things, but you don't see changes being made, or you don't even know what happens to her recommendations, or they're very slow in being implemented. And I said, I could never remain in a job where I am seeing the same thing season after season, reporting on it, and nothing is being done or not sufficient is being done. That's my statement. I say it because there, to my mind, is always a way for a highly motivated person to have greater impact. Even in your death, you can have that impact. That's my personal creed.
And my perspective on it was that no, she should stay in the job, because at least she's speaking about it. The people we need to look at are those who are responsible to take action.
I'm not saying she should give up the job. I said, Minett, not stay in another job. So what you say?
No,
would you stay?
Me, of course I'm gonna. I'll keep speaking.
The job,
just as though we are here airing these things, and you don't stop.
No, this is a little different.
No, it's not.
It's
not different.
No, this is different.
No, the principle is the same.
This is different.
The same principle.
No, we don't have any contractual relationship or obligation with the people to whom we're speaking. In her case, she's a government official named in statute with certain duties,
and she does it.
And she reports in a context and works in a context where she can be following up on the implementation of certain things in the organizations that she deals with.
And she does.
How she reports and what she says, I don't know that she does, because she don't say she does. She report on the things.
But she reports.
She reports.
I'm saying that I would desire, if I can't have greater impact.
Would I leave it work?
Of course. Then I've done that.
Anyway, that's you. We're not encouraging her to leave.
So why would you disagree with what I choose for me?
No, we not disagree. We say that is Minett.
But we are encouraging her to stay.
Yeah.
What we need to look at now are the persons who are responsible
can do something about what you report.
To take action on the things that are reported. And
then
they
the
just
people
die.
have let her down grossly then.
And
no,
because if she report, you report for an audience,
they have let her
and the audience must be the one to push for the things you have reported on, to take it seriously, to desire change, and so on and so forth.
But that raises another issue as we come up to the 7:30 break.
Already?
Yes. It raises another issue.
What's the other issue?
The issue is governance.
Well, that's what we were talking about yesterday.
Governance.
The principle, as you were asking, what was the principle? I said the principle is good governance.
Unfortunately, the system is true to form. Unfortunately, because we see it. We talk about SOE. We talk about all these things.
The SOE
all of the ills
it's part
of what people are doing out there, and nothing gets done.
Yeah,
the government
change.
press on.
So what is the system that you say is
The
true
government
to
press. No, the
All right,
government.
you have to explain that to me.
The
in the break.
government not doing things, even though the things are brought to light. They all bank on the 9-day. It has become a part of this 9-day. It has become a part of the 9-day. But it's a perversion, yes. So it has become a part of the system.
All right,
everybody bank on the 9-day.
Let's take our 7:30 break.
It's true.
Praise the Lord, praise the Lord. God is good. This is your radio pastor and friend, Reverend Simon Peter Jones, inviting you, my friends, to listen every Tuesday evening on Bess100 FM at 7:30 p.m. for the program, The Voice of Hope, as we extend hope to the hopeless in this dying world. God is good. Be encouraged. Hope is in the Lord.
Vejan Printers for all your printing needs. We specialize in calendars, flyers, brochures, and more. Call us today at 968-7506. That's 968-7506. Or visit us at 4 East Bloomsbury Road, off Hagley Park Road. Vejan Printers, your best choice in printing.
For a better choice in all your electrical supplies, A, authorized 3M dealer and better brand names. B, better service including free island-wide delivery. C, all major credit and debit cards accepted. It's ABC Electrical Sales. Shop number 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10. Open Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Saturday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. We make your electrical jobs as easy as ABC. Call 754-3825-8 or fax 754-3659. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice.
Looking to clean your vehicle super clean? 123 Clean Car Wash, located at 2 1/4 Osborne Road, Kingston 10. Entrance on Grove Road, below Tropical Battery. They wash and vacuum, undercarriage wash, engine wash, polish and compound, shampoo and detailing. Call them at 876-631-3400. 123 Clean Car Wash, the best in the business for a cleaner wash.
1, 2, 3, believe me, it's so easy. 1, 2, 3.
Jamaica, we're going up and not under. No more slaves any longer. We were once weak, but now we are stronger, stronger, stronger. Join me, Darren Chosen Smith, Mondays to Thursdays from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. inside Lifted, right here on Bess100 FM, 100.1 to 100.9 FM. Tune in and be informed, motivated, entertained, and spiritually lifted. Your weekdays will never be the same again. Mondays to Thursdays from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. inside Lifted on Bess100 FM, 100.1 to 100.9 FM. With yours truly, Darren Chosen Smith. Tune in and be lifted.
Bess100 FM is the authentic voice of Jamaica, promoting your prosperity with better vibes and better music. Let us promote your goods and services for you. Advertise with us. For more information, call our office at 876-276-8935. That's 276-8935.
The Morning Connection is not your usual talk show. We aim to stimulate discussion and chart new paths to self-empowerment. So please join us, Minett and Percy, on The Morning Connection, Mondays to Thursdays, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Bess100 FM.
It's good, it's better, but nothing beats.
All right, so let's leave the Auditor General alone because she's a good sacred cow.
No.
SSL, the FSC's parting shot regarding SSL is this. They have appointed a special auditor. What does that mean? This company has been on life support since mostly 2013 at the very least, or certainly 2016. And I believe they made mention of a special auditor before. They were under close supervision by FSC.
Yeah.
And in the final hours when they should be past Lazarus 4 days in the tomb, the FSC is saying they're appointing a special auditor. What about just suspending the license or revoking the license as was done so rapidly for Alliance? Why we're seeing the soft touch at this stage when fraud of a very high and apparently complex nature has already been disclosed? You see that happening, and then you see the children's advocate and the Minister of Education chopping off the neck of this lady. She must step aside just so that matters could be investigated by the proper parties, because while the children's advocate has powers to do certain things, nobody is pretending that she's the proper party to take the determinative action on this issue. The Public Services Commission has far greater powers than she does, and clearly the police has even greater powers on the matters that involve criminal misconduct. And they want the lady to step aside for that. Yet here we are, SSL, in control of millions of dollars belonging to people, and they are being given a life support. Hey, I object to these things when I see inequity at play in how we regulate certain things in this country, because you see the hammer falling rapidly in some instances, and to me is one government. Don't try and tell me that FSC is a different agency, or it's one government.
Of course.
In the financial industry, due diligence and regulatory standards are set by the Bank of Jamaica.
Say that again.
In the financial industry, regulatory standards and due diligence requirements are set by the Bank of Jamaica. Bank of Jamaica publish their standard. You can go online and find it. And it has always been a mystery to me why other agencies operating in the field seem to have their own peculiar way of doing things that gives you an unequal experience in the one country. We're not that big. It's not that complex. There's no need for each person to be reinventing the wheel. So you end up having a different experience in similar situations. Certainty of law is one of the principles that drive investment and growth. You must feel certain when you step out to do a type of business that the experience you see over there, so with another man who look and behaving like you, that's the experience that you will have. It's the foundation for a whole body of law in the administrative law section, legitimate expectation. I have a legitimate expectation that what you did for him, you will do for me, because we're doing similar things. And my ethnicity, my family connections, the color of my skin, my political beliefs should not influence what a regulator does. Jamaica cannot sit comfortably and say, oh, that's how it works here.
So it just to sum it up,
Yeah.
two different law.
Mm.
The Jamaicans are saying one law for Minett and one law for Percival. But you are
I
saying
firmly believe that we are not lacking in laws.
we agree with
Well,
you.
so we have two different ones.
Two
We have
different
plenty.
law. Oh, them enforce the law. And that's an important principle
Enforcement
that
is
you just
another
that you just raised. Legitimate what you call
Legitimate expectation. So, for example, in the carousel thing, we tried to advance certain arguments. We said, well, we see that there is a man coming out of Ireland who, in his own country, a commission of inquiry from Parliament said he had bribed public officials to get a license. And he come to Jamaica, of course. And he came to Jamaica and he got a license and built a massive business. You're telling me that Jamaicans who you say have some smear in their background can't get a license just like how he got a license? I have a legitimate expectation that I would be treated in the same way as a foreigner who come here with a sore foot.
Even more say you're Jamaican.
And I am a Jamaican.
Yeah, but
Yet my business was shut down. My license was pulled on the basis that I keep bad company, while bad company get a license.
Because bad company was rendered a commission of inquiry.
In Ireland, there was a commission of inquiry commissioned by Parliament, by their own Parliament, which found that the Digicel founder had bribed public officials. And it is known, you can go search it up today and find it. I copied the document and sent it. It was part of how we got license. Sent it to the OUR to say, sit there. Why would you withhold a license from Jamaicans trying to do business when you are prepared to license that entity?
But you came long after.
Long after.
Yeah, but you know.
And you see it, Percy, being repeated
over and over again.
Many different places. For example, there was a Cable and Wireless. A shareholder of Cable and Wireless, Mr. Abrams, the case has been decided now, it is public information. Took them to task when the shares were being sold recently when they came off the stock exchange. He had some allegations against them concerning the level of disclosures made to the shareholders whose shares were being bought up.
Yeah.
And he
I remember it was in the public domain.
It was in the public domain. He got applied for injunction and so on and so forth. In his evidence, which was repeated in the case law, he cited all the different actions which he says amounted to a breach of duty by the directors of the company in Jamaica, which have a telecoms license. And there are serious breaches, which, by the way, later on, they had appealed the decision and the decision was upheld. We tried to bring that to the attention of the court and to the attention of the regulator. They were asked about it. They said they don't know anything about that. And that's in the public domain, in a published case. The regulators, the OUR, the head of the OUR said he didn't know. He didn't know anything about directors of Cable and Wireless in Jamaica being accused of a failure to disclose information and setting up standards of
so
management
much lies
that
and
were
deceit throughout our entire sojourn with this whole carousel.
But you know what was telling to me, Lowell, is that when the information was being put before the court, the constitutional court, the court said it was not relevant, expressed no interest in it, didn't even want to go and say, okay, this is a matter that the regulator should have known about, though they said they didn't know. You can't dispute a man who say, I don't know. You don't know, you don't know. But should you have looked? Should you be looking when you're pouring through social media to get gossip and rumors about somebody else so you can penalize them? This is how our regulatory environment is shaped in Jamaica, and it needs to change. People must have a reasonable expectation that when they stand before government officials who are doing things just to keep business running in a clean and honest way, you're going to get the same treatment. Good governance. All these things you're seeing coming out in the media, it is because our governance structure has been perverted, and it's been perverted to the disadvantage of the same set of people time and time again.
I remember this morning I was just relating to you. I was reading out of the book of Proverbs, and it was talking about people who rejected the fear of the Lord. It says, okay, they will not accept my counsel. and they spurn all my rebuke. Therefore they shall eat of the fruit of their own wicked way, and be satiated with the penalty of their own devices. The judgment, it's unfortunate, but because people have rejected the fear of the Lord, and the fear of the Lord is about doing things right, in a righteous way, in terms of how you interact with your neighbor and things. And if you reject that, and you continue along a path, what will happen to you is that what? You're going to meet upon what God says you're going to meet upon, because you have done unjustly and unrighteously with your neighbor.
That's where I was when I said to you, I fully expect the system to crash. Because, to your point, when you reject the wisdom of God and the way of God, you're going to reap the fruit of your own bad seed. I wanted us to look at the Davos report. I know you love the World Economic Forum and how it is. You'll have to talk about it then.
Okay.
Don't know if you love them.
The Davos report says, are we going to get a recession in 20?
There's something in it that I want us to look at, because they were looking at the impact of social divisions. They see an increasing disparity between groups of disadvantaged persons. What they see is that those who have are seeking to get more, those who don't have are getting less and less, and that is going to be the cauldron in which great social upheavals and inequities gonna bring.
Biblical.
The Davos report. No, it's true.
You think they're reading the Bible too?
They must. The Bible is, if you can't do good research and have a right understanding of things if you're not reading the Bible.
Oh my
because
Lord.
And not because you don't necessarily believe that it have anything useful to offer you, but it is influencing other persons. So if you are planning, you need to be aware of what the actors around you are using as their playbook. So there's if 2 billion people in the world are Christians or persons who move under the influence of faith and a belief in a divine being, that 2 million can shift the trajectory of where the other 6 are planning to go.
Yep.
So you have to be aware of what's in the Bible. So that the people in the World Economic Forum read the Bible. What is it? Over 600 representatives attended the meeting.
And there are 5,000 people, 5,000 soldiers protecting them because people go there and protest. Seriously, in Switzerland.
They say 5,000.
5,000 soldiers protecting them. I said, boy, them expect thing. But a lot of prime ministers were there.
Was our prime minister there?
No, I didn't go to that one. He wasn't invited. I remember you have to be invited.
I know.
You have to be invited. You can't just tell them, say, yeah, go.
You have to be of a certain standing.
But he was there 2 years ago. Yeah. Was here 2 years ago in regards to it. Let me see if I find it.
If you could find it, please. There was something. There is just something from it that I wanted to bring to your attention, for the awareness of the people. It's good to study trends and what people are saying about trends. At the end of the year, some people go to their favorite prophet to hear what the prophet is saying about 2023. Some go to their spiritual advisor of whatever vintage. Those who follow what is coming out of the World Economic Forum, that is one place where you look as well.
Because in 2021 or 2020, they never had any in 2021.
I will find it. In the meantime, I was very curious about the ruling. Hunt it down for me, Percy. There's a paragraph that is of interest. I think you will find it interesting. But the ruling of the Court of Appeal in the appeal brought by the men, everybody cross-appealed anyway, the men accused, the soldiers who were accused of murdering Mr. Keith Clark. And I bless Mr. Clark's widow. She's continuing the fight. She doesn't want her husband's death to count for nothing. And so she's been following, she's invested her time in following what's going on with the trial. And to the extent that these men sought to rely on an immunity certificate, good faith certificates issued by the minister. It was Minister Bunting who 6 years after Mr. Clark's death issued the certificates. I want to make the point here that the court found, and I certainly agree with them, that the delay in issuing the certificate, many people say, well, we could be doing that 6 years after the soldiers did what they did. The court found that the delay in the certificate was not something that could be used to influence the trial of the soldiers because the delay was not through anything they did. And one of the judges made the very important point that if the men acted in good faith and were entitled to be covered by law at the time of the death, then 6 years later, that wouldn't change. That's kind of like a biblical understanding of things, that the passage of time does not change the rightness, the accuracy, the good faith of what happened. The minister could be questioned about his delay in providing it, but men who are on trial and who knew that they were moving under the powers in the Emergency Powers Act should not be affected one way or another by the delay. Another point they made is that the good faith certificates are not discretionary to the minister. The Emergency Powers Act itself creates that immunity. The certificate is just evidence of it that you present if asked in a place that is asking. And that was also another important, sensitive point that only one judge in the Constitutional Court made it, Justice Dunbar Green, Cordell's wife. Justice Dunbar Green dissented and made that point. The others were sort of moving beyond it. But in her dissenting judgment, she made the point that the good faith actions were covered by an immunity founded in law, not in the certificate. She said that it's not the certificate that confers the immunity, it's the law. Certificate is just evidence of it.
Yes.
Right. As we know, this is the name of the firm, The Equity. Is that the one? Anyway, while you hunt your thing down.
I found it, but...
In the end, the Court of Appeal did not challenge the certificates because they said it is a rebuttable, it's evidence that can be rebutted during the trial, the murder trial. In other words, these men have been put on trial for actions taken. The question is going to be, were those good faith actions? And that's an issue that can be examined in the course of the trial. They can be questioned on their judgment, because even though it's wartime, and this is important for us to know because we are operating under so many recurring states of emergency. That's why
on the wartime.
Yes, that's why
it's a real thing. It's a real thing.
That's why I'm taking time to speak on this issue, because there are so many citizens living under states of emergency in their communities, in the parish where you live, and you have to pass through a community that might be, under the control of the police. There is a presumption that all actions taken by the police are taken in good faith for the protection of the citizen and the state as per the Emergency Powers Act. So let's make it like a literal discussion now. So there is a group of escaped convicts who have taken up residence in the community near you or in your very own community. As a consequence, a proclamation is made that there is a state of emergency in Stony Hill, for argument's sake. These men are maybe hiding out in one house, several houses. They may be holding people hostage in their own homes, and that's where they've established themselves. I'm not giving anyone any ideas. But such is the nature of a real state of emergency. The prison is missing 10 men whom they know the names, they have the photographs, they know who they are. They have credible information that these men are holed up in some place in Stonehill, probably somewhere near Pastor's establishment. Right, Pastor? A state of emergency is declared in the area. They may say all citizens must remain in their house. You cannot come out for the next 24 hours or for the next 3 days, whatever, because they need to do a house by house search, and everybody must stay put while they conduct their searches. That is a true state of emergency. Now, suppose the policeman comes to your door to conduct a search, and you were just in the kitchen, had a knife in your hand, you had been chopping vegetables, and you open the door with the knife in your hand and the policeman shoot you. Somebody's going to say murder, most likely your wife or your children. And the policeman is going to say, in this state of emergency, with convicts hiding out in homes, you appear at the door with a knife held aloft. Maybe you were chopping beets and the knife red.
You kill somebody.
In good faith, I fired because I thought one of the person.
Credible
threat. Now, suppose you're an old granny who come to the door in your walker and him shoot you, or him push you out of the way and you drop and you break your hip or you break your back and you sue. Can he get an immunity and say good faith?
Yeah, sure.
That's
a consideration.
Right. Those are
the
right. So I just want citizens to understand that it's not open season because it's a state of emergency. I'm grateful that this decision has been delivered right now as we're moving from back-to-back states of emergency, and the police are puffed up with their power and think that they can push you around. Do you remember that? The taxi man who called yesterday and said they got a ticket because the policeman was offended that he never get out in car. Now, in some states, policemen stop you. Mess state because I've not seen it in Jamaica. Policemen stop you and you move to open your door. You're dead.
You're dead, yeah.
Yet we have a policeman in rough Jamaica who is offended because him stop you and you never come out of your car. Do you see how these things? Not good faith. But it's good for us to understand what the emergency powers cover and the kinds of activities that the security force can just do and move on. Citizens don't just accept that when they haul you out of your car and make you stretch and spread and whatever else they do, that they're acting in good faith. Can you believe that good faith is a presumption in wartime? Good faith is a presumption in wartime.
Well, you know,
rules of engagement.
Yes, you found it.
Societal polarization. This is the Davos report that was issued at the 11th of January 2023.
Last week?
Yeah, last week, because they just come out of the Davos meeting, which happened in Switzerland. I think
Davos.
In Davos, Switzerland. Davos. It says erosion of social cohesion and societal polarization has been climbing in the ranks of perceived severity in recent years, defined as the loss of social capital and fracturing of communities, leading to declining social stability, individual and collective well-being, and economic productivity. And they risked it.
Can you email it to me? Because I didn't keep it.
It is ranked as the 5th most severe global risk faced in the short term by the person who are at Davos. So what it did was to go through and look in the next 2 years, what are the risks? And there are about 10 of them.
And that one is number 5.
Yes.
And I want persons to understand that the Davos, the World Economic Forum and that conference was attended by what you would then say are the power brokers, the most elites, powerful, the elites of world finance, manufacturing, energy, army, security, technology, because you have to have a certain turnover of business to be invited.
Yeah.
So these are the persons who can afford to invest in studying every little movement on the ground, using artificial intelligence to the max to theorize on what's likely to come based on In fact, these you would say, this is now the creme de la creme of the prophets, the modern day prophets.
The one who tried to dictate how we go.
How it go, absolutely. And they are saying that the cost of living crisis overshadows the likely disasters of climate change.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Remember, now, climate change is likely to be apocalyptic in its effect. A tsunami that changed the whole face of a country, a volcano erupting that has been sitting silent for years. Climate change has the potential to bring any of these eventualities into our existence. And these people are saying the cost of living crisis brought about by the continued polarization of groups in society, that crisis is more dangerous than the possibility of your whole nation being wiped out by some cataclysmic weather event.
Yeah, because it was also seen as one of the most strongly influenced risks in the global network, triggered by many other short and longer term potential risks, including debt crisis, state instability, cost of living crisis, and inflation, a prolonged economic downturn, and climate migration. So it's a 98-page report that looks at a lot of things.
If you are into that kind of thing, read it. One of the risk managers, one of the experts on risk management says, we need to be making decisions now that might feel counterintuitive because they might be a little bit costly upfront, but it's just unavoidable. That sounds spiritually. This is the first shall be last and the last shall be first. You might have to pull a man from the back and spend a fortune training him to take up his position. It will cost you a lot to train him, but in the end,
it will save you a lot more.
That's why you invest in your people. That's why you don't increase the burden on the marginalized people. You build them up. You take the hit of putting in decent health, decent education, proper road infrastructure, because you are spending it today so you can reap it tomorrow. 8:01, we're going to take our break, and when we come back, we'll open the lines and hear what you have to say on these very weighty matters.
You're simply the best. Better than all the rest. Better than anyone. Anyone I ever met. You're simply the best.
Bess FM 100.5 on your dial. Keep listening.
Hello, I'm Emily Thomas with the BBC News. One of Belarus's main opposition leaders, Svetlana Tikhanovskaya, has denounced as a farce a trial against her and 4 other exiled allies that's taking place in her homeland. The 5 are being tried in absentia, having fled repressions that accompanied mass protests in 2020 against Belarus's authoritarian ruler, Alexander Lukashenko. Sarah Rainsford reports.
Svetlana Tikhanovskaya is now facing 10 charges, including plotting to overthrow the regime, treason, and creating an extremist group. 4 other key opposition figures are being tried too, including the former culture minister. They are all abroad, so they'll avoid prison. But if they're found guilty of extremism, new legislation means they could then be deprived of their citizenship. There's been a whole series of political trials in Belarus in the past few weeks, with prominent journalists and human rights activists all appearing in court.
The Vietnamese president has resigned shortly after the departure of 2 deputy prime ministers. All have lost their jobs in the name of an anti-corruption campaign launched by the hardline Communist Party Secretary General. Jonathan Head reports.
Reading Vietnamese politics is always difficult. The Communist Party makes its decisions behind closed doors. But the resignation of President Nguyen Xuan Phuc, right after 2 deputy prime ministers had done the same, is a clear indication of a shifting balance of power among the country's leaders. The hardline Secretary-General Win Phu Trong, who was given an unprecedented 3rd term at last year's party congress, appears to be consolidating his authority by ousting senior officials seen as more pro-Western and pro-business. Officially, this is all happening in the name of fighting corruption, a big problem in Vietnam, but is indicative of a power struggle at the top.
A Somali senior army commander has been killed in an Islamist attack on a military base north of the capital, Mogadishu. A number of other soldiers also died when Al-Shabaab stormed the facility in Hawadal town at dawn. The base was seized from the militants in October. It comes a day after the government announced it had recaptured the key port of Horodaya in central Somalia from jihadist control. Civil servants in Sri Lanka have been warned their salary payments are being delayed. The country is struggling to tackle its debts. And Barasan Itharajan has the details.
Sri Lanka is facing its worst ever economic crisis. Its foreign reserves are not enough to import essential items like fuel, and the government's tax revenues are way below its expenditure. Sri Lanka has a 1.5 million strong public service. The payment of salaries of tens of thousands of officials is to be delayed by up to a week. Last week, the government ordered all ministries to make a 5% reduction in spending.
BBC News. The German Chancellor Olaf Scholz has announced his new defence minister to replace Christina Lambrecht. She quit on Monday after a series of blunders and growing criticism of her handling of the military after Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Her replacement is Boris Pistorius, who will immediately come under pressure from Kiev and several other allies to approve the transfer to Ukraine of German-made Leopard battle tanks. A suspected former senior member of the Islamic State group has been detained in the Netherlands. The Syrian man, who's not been named, will appear in court in The Hague on Friday. Anna Holligan has more details.
The 37-year-old was arrested in Arkel, a town in South Holland, where prosecutors said he settled after applying for asylum in 2019. Between 2013 and 2018, he's suspected of playing senior roles in ISIS and Jabhat al-Nusra, both listed as terrorist organisations in Europe. He is said to have operated in and around the Yarmouk refugee camp south of the Syrian capital, Damascus, and of contributing to war crimes.
Egypt has freed 31 people held in pre-trial detention on charges of spreading false news. It's the second time since the start of the year that such detainees have been freed by a presidential pardon. A leading political activist and an artist are among those to have been released after being held for several years in jail. Human rights groups say that Egypt has intensified its restrictions on freedom of expression under President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi. A court in the Bangladeshi capital Dhaka has convicted a popular Islamic preacher who claimed Israel was using COVID vaccines to spy on the world's population. Prosecutors said Qazi Ibrahim, the chief cleric of a mosque in Dhaka, had used his platform to make multiple spurious claims about coronavirus. He wrongly claimed that COVID vaccines could lead to women growing beards. BBC News.
Praise the Lord, praise the Lord. God is good. This is a radio pastor and friend, Reverend Simon Peter Jones, inviting you, my friends, to listen every Tuesday evening on Bess100 FM at 7:30 p.m. for the program The Voice of Hope, as we extend hope to the hopeless in this dying world. God is good. Be encouraged. Hope is in
For a
the
better
Lord.
choice in all your electrical supplies, A, authorized 3M dealer and better brand names. B, better service including free island-wide delivery. C, all major credit and debit cards accepted. It's ABC Electrical Sales. Shop number 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10. Open Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Saturday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. We make your electrical jobs as easy as ABC. Call 754-382-528 or fax 754-3659. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice.
Veteran Printers for all your printing needs. We specialize in calendars, flyers, brochures, and more. Call us today at 968-7506. That's 968-7506. Or visit us at 4 East Bloomsbury Road, off Hagley Park Road. Veteran Printers, your best choice in printing.
Half a tree, 100, half a tree. Bossy, how we do I take taxi star?
Jano, I want to tell you, say, 2 months now, my transmission mash up, and me check everybody and can't hear nothing positive.
Yeah, hear me? Yeah, waste all that time I shop around and never call the experts. Winters ought to have them. Them have over 35 years of experience and them diagnose the problem and get back your transmission brand new. For them service excellent and efficient. Trust me, man. Yeah, hear me? Call them at 929-7040 or go to them at 106 Maxfield Avenue, Kingston 13 and talk directly to the boss. Just tell them I'm me, send you.
Wow, you big star. Yeah, man, respect my boss.
Yeah, try and call, cause trust me.
Waiters Auto Spares and Repairs, good afternoon.
Ah, what a relief.
What should a taxi service do for you? On-Time Taxi Service is more than just a ride to the other side of town. They offer clean and spacious vehicles, reliable service, and promise to always look out for their customers. They'll come when you call and take you where you want to go on time.
From anywhere at all. You can call us at 926-3866.
We are something special on the road.
Hey, what's up? It's your girl, Lady Lee, the Queen of the South, and I'm inviting you all to trailblaze with me on the best of the best radio station, the Bess100 FM, Mondays through Thursdays, 2 to 5 p.m. You can't afford to miss it on your airwaves. Yes, Trailblaze with Lady Lee right here, Mondays to Thursdays, 2 to 5 p.m. on the best of the best, Bess100 FM. Mwah.
Jamaica, we're going up and not under. No more slaves any longer. We were once weak, but now we are stronger, stronger, stronger. Join me, Darren Chosen Smith, Mondays to Thursdays from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. inside Lifted, right here on Bess100 FM, 100.1 to 100.9 FM. Tune in and be informed, motivated, entertained, and spiritually lifted. Your weekdays will never be the same again. Mondays to Thursdays from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. inside Lifted on Bess100 FM, 100.1 to 100.9 FM. With yours truly, Darren Chosen Smith. Tune in and be lifted.
Bess100 FM is the authentic voice of Jamaica, promoting your prosperity with better vibes and better music. Let us promote your goods and services for you. Advertise with us. For more information, call our office at 876-276-8935. That's 276-8935.
The Morning Connection is not your usual talk show. We aim to stimulate discussion and chart new paths to self-empowerment. So please join us, Minett and Percy, on The Morning Connection, Mondays to Thursdays, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Bess100 FM.
It's good, it's better, but nothing beats.
Welcome back. We're at that point of the morning when we talk to you. So remember, the numbers to call are 876-279-8473 and 876-619-1508. We have been talking good governance using the SSL debacle, which my friend online here says a comedy. It's making him laugh. But then he asked some other questions to show that I'm quite serious. He said both Miss Gray and the minister should step aside, not Miss Gray alone. And why was the dead baby's minister not asked to step aside? And we could broaden that question and name any number of other things that have happened, which made governance questionable.
Grass minister.
And yes, you have the one with the grass. You have the one with the bad rice. Who it took a while before we learned that is his company and his son is only an employee. There's just so many things that you could say, if that is the principle, all those persons should have stepped aside to leave a clean field for investigations to be carried out. Yeah, we're trying to get to that place where there is true
Same
equity.
Principle, yeah.
Good morning and welcome to the Morning Connection.
Blessed morning.
Good morning, my brother.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm Percival. I have a phenomena here. I don't know how many people notice it, but if you check your age last year, not this year.
Yes.
Yesterday was my Earth Strong anyway.
Ooh,
but if
well,
you check your age,
belated greetings, sir. Blessings on your Earth Strong.
if you check your age last year and add it to the date that you were born, it comes to 2022. Everyone would have.
Yes, that's
a phenomenon. Yeah, we know about it.
That's one of the mysteries of the age.
Yeah, it's every 1,000 years that it happens.
Right, because I know it's.
So the 1,000 years where Satan gets screwed up last and the 1,000 years of righteousness started January 1 this year.
2023.
Interesting. Interesting observation.
So which one is the phenomena that we have entered a new 1,000 years? What's a 1,000 year call again?
I heard you mention it. But it's like a paradigm shift.
Yes.
And it's happening like a Christ time now and Christ consciousness time, because 1,000 years of the other, the bridging there.
I think only in Jamaica would we use that description for the forces of evil, the bridging there. Yeah, that one. I love that you have raised it, because other persons, the awareness of it is emanating from other sources. We talked about the Davos report. World Economic Forum also said sometime last year that the influence of faith and the impact of faith-based beliefs will be a phenomena in this season. Do you remember that?
Yeah, man, it was.
Yes.
And the numbers that year add up to 7.
Yeah, 7, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a completion. Time for resting in God and His goodness and His power and His mercy.
Wow.
And see Him do Him thing.
If you have the eyes to see it.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, he's not the one he's not the two that look out. He's the one who look in, the third one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that eye. Yes.
All right.
Oh, blessed.
Blessed. All right.
Good morning and welcome to the Morning Connection. Good morning. I love that first call to get the conversation rolling. Good morning. That consciousness is something that I believe some people grow impatient with. They don't probe it enough. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning.
How are you, sir? Thank you for calling us.
Rastafari, love in the house.
We welcome you.
It's a day of judgment, my honorable people.
What is on judgment?
It's a day of judgment.
Oh, okay.
With the considerable development in modern technology.
My brother, you're gonna have to call back again here.
Good morning and welcome.
Morning.
How are you?
Not bad, not bad. And Pastor?
We're good, I'm great.
Yeah. I realize for a while now, I normally listen to Best FM on my phone.
Yes.
But it's online. But for some strange reason I'm not getting it. It just keeps saying offline. You know, I don't know what's happening.
I'm trying to figure out where the breakdown might be. You normally listen to Best FM on your phone.
Yeah.
But recently it keeps saying offline.
Yeah. This is what the JA radio app, all the local stations online, and you just tap the one that you want.
All right.
And that's how you
Engineer.
always listen to Best FM.
On his phone.
Yeah, when you try it.
All right, the technical people are.
And it's for a while now.
Okay. All right, engineer says you should check Tune In. That's another app. Yeah, check Tune In. It may be that it's been dropped from that the first app that you were using. Which one you are using?
It's saying problem with Bess FM-100. Could not connect it to station would you like to report a problem? Notify us.
Yeah, something. Yeah. All right. We're gonna check on it for you. Right. So, are you listening today at all or not?
I was listening because I have to on the same phone now. I wasn't hearing.
All right.
But I just tried to verify that. You know, that's why I don't get to speak for a while now.
Yes, that's true.
I'm back now. Because I use my earphone. So I get to use the earphone in the phone. You know, you plug that little earphone in the phone.
Into the right.
Right. This is what I use now, and I get through better.
All right. Well, talk to us now that you're here.
Yeah. Bye-bye. Oh. Hello?
Yeah,
we're listening.
We're listening, my brother.
Yeah, but I realize the money that is missing from it was a stock account. It's like you buy stock through a stockbroker.
Mm-hmm.
Right. But I bet you if it was a small person involved, I think I find out that a lot of things slide through depends on who or which sector of the society is being involved, whether it's crime or financial crime, whatever it may be.
Whatever, yes, we were talking about that too. Those inequities are things that we need to weed out of our system.
Right, because I hear the Prime Minister was talking about, like, we say, murder. Mm-hmm. You get 45 years without parole. But someone know here, there's this man, they found a man dead in a lawyer's living room. And nothing come out of it.
3-4 years. It's a long time, yeah.
Oh, is that
the same one?
Okay, it wasn't in a bedroom, in a part. Anyway,
part of the house.
Okay, I just wanted to know if it had happened twice.
But if it was somebody else's living room, like from a small gear or a ghetto, I think it would be a different case.
They would have at least and you know, it may be that the wrong thing is being done in both situations, or it's right in one and wrong in another. But what we want is to see the same principle being applied fairly.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. It may be, and because I have a little understanding of the law, I know that many times when you see a poor man being carted off in the stocks, it ought not to be so. He is being unfairly treated. He should be given the same courtesies as the lawyer on whose premises a dead body is found. You understand what I'm saying? It's not necessarily that the lawyer got away with something. What it is that the lawyer could afford to pay for proper representation that kept the dogs at bay. But the man down there's an attitude of shoot first, ask later.
Okay, I understand you.
Yeah, a lot of times that's what it is. It's not that the other one should have received the same harsh treatment. It is that no harsh treatment should have been meted out to either of the two.
Right, but there are certain things in law that you can use to clarify, right, depending on who the person is. Some people just don't know rights and they can't afford to pay.
There you go.
Right, I understand.
Yeah, man, many people die from illnesses that should have been treated because they couldn't afford to get the right treatment.
Right across the board.
Right across the board.
I understand.
Yeah.
I understand.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you, and I'm going to take a
You're most welcome, and thanks for telling us what's going on with that app. I think I see people writing and looking knowledgeable, so it will be addressed.
All right, then you too.
You too. Thank you. You know, Percy, that's a point that I will make as often as I get an opportunity, that the harsh treatment we see meted out to persons shouldn't happen at all. And what you think is lenience being given to one man is really what everybody should be getting.
Yeah.
Good morning and welcome.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
Good morning to you both.
Thank you. How are you?
I'm giving God thanks. Refreshing to hear you, as usual.
Thank you.
Yes. I have two issues here.
Yes.
Go ahead.
One locally and the other one on the international space. The first, yes, the one here, I'm going to, when I called this morning, I mentioned that in Jamaica, I do believe that we over-politicize at times. And I'm referring to two political parties. Now, the government has a program where they call it National Development Housing Program, which I do believe is a very good program. And the program is that they identify individuals who are in need of a house, really, very in need.
Yes.
But they have to have proof of the ownership of the land.
Mm-hmm.
And they go and build a house.
They build for you.
Since the program has been conceptualized, I think it's about 100 houses have been built so far.
Mm-hmm.
As I said, it's a very good program.
It is a good program.
But let me tell you, caller, one sec. There was a forerunner to that program, you know. Through Food for the Poor. If you have land and you talk to your MP and so on, they would come in and build a standard house for you. So I think what they have done is taken it to another level in regards to it. Because recently, if you remember, there was a big hullabaloo about something that happened in St. Thomas in terms of somebody getting a house and they were saying cause a connection. But overall, the concept is excellent.
Yes, it's excellent.
So what point are you making about it now?
Yes. But one little issue, I wouldn't be a mountain out of it. But
yes.
Because when a house is completed, I don't know why the Prime Minister to his office to go and bid for that house.
Aye, my brother.
Yes, I see in the office to go and bid one over in Hanover. I do believe that ministry has a housing. So it's a minister that's responsible for that.
Or the MP or somebody else.
Yes. But you said you don't know why. And I know it's a rhetorical question. Yes. It is seeking to get political mileage out of doing a job that should be
a normal thing,
a normal everyday occurrence for the benefit of the people.
Yes.
That's why he's doing it. And Christ in his Sermon on the Mount says, that shall be his reward. When you are doing good and you have to make a spectacle of it and put yourself in the middle of it. And I wish the Prime Minister would stop doing it. I saw his picture in the paper recently giving a lady in St. Mary, whatever place, delivering the keys for this house. And I asked myself the same question. Why is the Prime Minister the one to do this with taxpayer money?
Yes. That's what.
It's not his personal foundation. He's not in housing at all. It's nothing about economic growth and what's the other thing that is ministered? It's nothing about economic growth and development.
It's public relations.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, cheap public relations. His reward shall be the good feeling him get doing it.
Yes, that's my.
It will buy him nothing in the polls, and he should know that.
Yes, that's my issue about it. As I said, it's a very good program, but and as you concur with me, he should think about stop doing that.
Yeah, man. Just like how he was the face and voice of a road safety ad.
And then he was face and ad of COVID, remember? When it started backfire himself.
Well, he has the road safety ad is now voiced by someone else and there's no face. It's just, and I thought, good move. Because while it is good for the Prime Minister to encourage his people to drive safely, there's no cause for the Prime Minister to be out there in an ad campaign. That's just constantly putting a face in the media. And you know what? I'd rather he were having town hall meetings or briefing the people or making himself available to journalists so they could talk to him on a morning show like this one. I'd rather he were doing that in a way that you could feel you're having honest exchange and open dialogue. It's not curated and managed to just focus on the things that you want people to hear about, but we could speak to him freely.
Honestly,
and he doesn't do that.
And not control the narrative, because remember, one other Prime Minister said, don't give interviews and people will be just push mics in the lady's face and things and say, you can't do that, unfortunately.
Yes, thank you so much.
Yes.
And then the other point, the other issue now, just briefly, and out of our domestic space, our state, international space, I just want to take this medium to be known horrible Taliban government in Afghanistan.
Yes.
So the women and thing, yeah, man.
Yes, it's really a prehistoric regime, and I don't find how to describe it. I know others may not agree with me, but when you prevent ladies from children from going
to school and thing, yeah.
Yeah, because they are not wearing the traditional dress properly. That kind of reasoning, God will deal with it.
No, them take them out and ban them completely.
I know, but the reason is that they are not keeping their traditional. Yes, they're not covering their head and keeping the modesty protocols as they should. So they must lock up in their house.
But I hear. But they say they prevent it from going to work.
Yes, I know.
work.
Not even to do the charitable works that they used to do.
NGOs
because the NGOs that were primarily run by women are non-functional now. And the Taliban is telling the NGO operators that they must use the men. And the operators are trying to say there are some things that men can't do credibly. Can't send a man into a woman's house that need food for her kids. And those would be in breach of their own modesty laws.
Yes, man, it burns my heart, man. I don't know that you women can't just limited to only secondary education.
You can't go university. It was because they were at university, high school, and them just said, with immediate effect,
Done with it.
We just go home, go sit down. Yeah, go home, go sit down.
Don't need to go sit down. That's terrible, man. But anyway, we cannot do anything about it. The mighty America won't do anything about it. I don't leave them. So I put them in the hands of God. That's all I can say.
But man works in partnership with God. And there are some things that need to happen, I think. It's the same for us. One, the women in Afghanistan who are mothers and husbands and sisters to the same men who are laying down those principles. There is an amount of what do they call it now? Self-work. There are some things you have to do yourself to get to your salvation. It needs to happen in Afghanistan. That's why America, with all their might and 20 years of occupation, couldn't do it. And the other part of it too is that we in the rest of the world looking on must lend support. I mean, we don't have to invade their country and try to be brutish in imposing control on them, but we have to speak out against it. We have to keep the pressure on as best we can and support whatever it is that Afghanistan, the people of Afghanistan, choose to do as they work this issue out, because at some point they will know that is the way to extinction.
Yes, and that's why I'm forced to use this medium to call to express my.
Yes, I do appreciate your raising it. As you said it, I remember that I had been reading the reports and I was conscious that it's something that we need to address, something that we need to do. And I thank you for raising it this morning. The Canadian government has started, they've added monies, $1.3 billion, I think, to a fund for social justice. And they spoke about gender-based violence. Gender-based violence is not just, chopping and cutting, but women who are disparaged and discriminated against in ways like that is what overflows into the physical abuse of women. And I don't think any democratic modern country should remain silent in the face of that.
Thank you, Mr. I'm going to go, but I thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
That said, we out here should, all we can do is to raise our voices.
Yes, sir.
And I do believe that we also in CARICOM, as is part of, in CARICOM,
yes.
CARICOM?
Yeah, man. We need,
CARICOM is a medium. We can raise their voices too.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much for that.
You're most welcome.
All right, then.
Bye.
Thanks. We are at the
time for the break. Yeah,
yeah,
we've gone past the break. It's now 8:33.
What should a taxi service do for you? On-time taxi service is more than just a ride to the other side of town. They offer clean and spacious vehicles, reliable service, and promise to always look out for their customers. They'll come when you call and take you where you want to go on time.
From anywhere at all. You can call us at 926-3866.
We are something special on the road.
For a better choice in all your electrical supplies, A, authorized 3M dealer and better brand names. B, better service including free island-wide delivery. C, all major credit and debit cards accepted. It's ABC Electrical Sales. Shop number 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10. Open Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Saturday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. We make your electrical jobs as easy as ABC. Call 754-382-528 or fax 754-3659. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice.
He's coming back.
Yes, indeed, it's redemption time with Apostle Clive Campbell, presenting a life-changing, life-challenging message to encourage, inspire, and motivate you towards your destiny. Every Tuesday night from 9:30 p.m. until 12:30 a.m. and on Saturday from 9 o'clock until 10, right here on Bess100 FM. It's redemption time.
I'm standing firm.
Half a tree. 100, 200. Ready, mama? Ready. Is this the confusion you feel when trying to work your way through medical systems in Jamaica? Try a dose of Ask Dr. Mary every Thursday at 5 to 6 p.m. Let Dr. Mary help you understand your medical problems and bring you to a calmer place.
Jamaica, we're going up and not under. No more slaves any longer. We were once weak, but now we are stronger. Join me, Darren Chosen Smith, Mondays to Thursdays from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. inside Lifted, right here on Bess100 FM, 100.1 to 100.9 FM. Tune in and be informed, motivated, entertained, and spiritually lifted. Your weekdays will never be the same again. Mondays to Thursdays from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. inside Lifted on Bess100 FM, 100.1 to 100.9 FM. With yours truly, Darren Chosen Smith. Tune in and be lifted.
Bess100 FM is the authentic voice of Jamaica, promoting your prosperity with better vibes and better music. Let us promote your goods and services for you. Advertise with us. For more information, call our office at 876-276-8935. That's 276-8935.
The Morning Connection is not your usual talk show. We aim to stimulate discussion and chart new paths to self-empowerment. So please join us, Minett and Percy, on The Morning Connection, Mondays to Thursdays, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Bess100 FM.
It's good, it's better, but nothing beats.
Good morning and welcome back.
Good morning.
How are you, my brother?
Not bad. Pastor and Miss Minett and whoever else is working there.
Holy Powie. All of the Bess FM people, them.
Good morning, Cruz. How are
First
you?
of all,
yes.
Malcolm X had a thing that he said, the ballot or the bullet. You know about that?
I know about the ballot or the bullet. That's Malcolm X?
Yes, it's
okay.
Malcolm X.
Okay.
That's one of my heroes. Actually, we kind of have a slight resemblance. And I'm more on to me.
Hey,
not Cartel.
That's definitely your hero.
Yeah, one of my heroes. Fidel Castro is also my hero. And Bin Laden, all those guys.
Fidel. I was wondering if Malcolm X would keep good company with the other heroes. I think he would.
They have some disagreement, but they were fighting for the same cause.
Yes, yeah. I just kind of run it through my brain and say, all right, yeah. Your heroes, it's not like Michael Manley and Edward Seaga on the same note.
Did you saw that news last night?
Which one?
TVJ News.
Some of it. Where
the
story?
Prime Minister gave Malahou Ford full thing to go ahead with the without the opposition.
Yes, but listen to me now. The opposition keep up foolishness.
What? Explain that foolishness to me.
Name the members who are going on the committee. There is no way, let me tell you, you can cheat yourself out of your own rights by being foolish with the strategy that you deploy. Those persons could go into that meeting and have far greater impact than he will have if the meeting proceeds without him. You remember the last time Edward Seaga said he might call election for vote of confidence and the PNP boycotted and he just win again and get 5 years?
It was not vote of confidence.
What was it?
It was a general election.
Yes, but he wanted it. Yeah, but he wanted a fresh mandate.
Because 2 years after he won 1980, Jamaican people didn't want him.
But the point I'm making, did we boycott the election?
Yes, they did. But
if you're not present in the room, you cannot have impact. Unless your plan is when the room is fully populated, you blow it up.
Yeah, but what I understand, the opposition is asking for a clarification before they send their
non-required. Non-required. You must act with wisdom. If you don't have the power to compel it, do not ask for it.
Yeah.
You're setting yourself up to fail. Do you think they can go to court and say, I asked for it and they didn't give it to me, make them do it? No.
And it's a commission anyway. It's not a...
So it's very bad strategy.
Yeah. But anyway.
What were you saying, my love?
No, what I'm saying the other thing now, how come all of a sudden you want to leave the Queen? Why? They always oppose it. So how come all of a sudden?
You mean you thought the JLP would hold out, what is it, for king and country?
they were holding out. Even the court, they wanted to stay with England forever. What's going on?
You know, I'm going to do that show again where we talk about when your enemy's neck is under your foot, how you must behave. When they concede and come to the right way of thinking, we don't remind them of how foolish they were. We embrace the fresh revelation and we make sure now that every time we want them to learn something new, we teach it patiently and know that we will succeed ultimately. Things gonna shift, Cruz. They must come to that. They must come to that realization that the rest of Jamaica, whom they serve, no want no king, want to be truly independent in as much as we can attain it. This is one step in that direction. So don't bash them because they've come to the revelation. They are where you are a long time ago and they still have a great journey to make. So let's not discourage them by reminding them of how foolish they were.
Do you watch this thing on TVJ every Monday night that they go back in the 60s?
Yeah, man.
Yes, I've watched it occasionally. Where did they go that you liked?
Didn't the opposition played any part in that era?
What you calling the opposition? You mean did the PNP or the founders of the PNP?
The PNP.
Of course they played a substantial
part. I
have
never seen anything positive, but only twice I saw something. It's always negative about the PNP. Whoever put that thing together, they're one-sided.
All right.
One-sided.
I can't comment
the other thing
on
I want to talk about.
Yeah.
There's a new thing on the YouTube. Young Police. You read them? You saw it?
No.
Why you going with things, man? Tell me about it. Let me check it out. There's a new YouTube channel called Young Police.
Yes.
Is that
Jamaica,
a musical group or it's a...
The guy is an ex-cop. He's an ex-cop and he's talking about the wrongs and the corruption that goes on in politics and the police.
Is he implicating himself, or he's just repeating what?
No, he said he was not like them.
Okay.
But he's one-sided. He seems to be a JP supporter.
Well, I don't know who. I don't know the thing, but when you are listening to something and you see that it is one-sided, you don't have to say to your crews, unhook. Do not. It's disturbing your peace, and you know it's not true.
No,
so
you can
feed on it.
Sense out and nonsense, and you can still learn things. I remember back in the days when BBC and CNN used to carry all their propaganda news, but I used to listen and learn, and I'm smart enough to know when they're lying from when they're telling the truth. So,
all right, my dear. Well, for sure, listen with discernment and don't be influenced emotionally. Remember, the Prime Minister say you're to guard your mental health. Don't follow all the things that are disturbing your spirit. And if you are hearing too much of one thing and you know the truth, start your own YouTube channel and tell the truth.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, so others would not be misled. That's something that a lot of more of us need to do. When we see misinformation, we play a role in correcting it. So thank you for bringing that to our attention. We have another caller to take now, my brother, unless
all right,
you have more to say. Thank you. Good morning.
Hello.
And welcome.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, 2 quick comments.
Yes.
Pertaining to the position of the Prime Minister about the King and Queen and something like that.
Yes.
It's a game that politicians on both sides play. Years ago, the JLP was against NIDS.
Yes.
It was a long time that the PNP proposed it, and one of the reasons why it didn't reach further is that the JLP was against it. Now things change, the shoe is under the foot. They change it. Politicians change position all along. To suit their needs. It's a game that they play. The same thing applies to this King and Queen thing and things like that. They're against it at one point, support at one point, depending where in history and in what position the country is in at all times. So it's a game that politicians play.
Well, can I tell you one of the reasons why persons it's you say a game, but the truth is it is a common human experience to have different perspective at different times in your life, depending on what season it is, what's important, and what works to your best interest. But one of the reasons why citizens should be concerned and look critically at how our leaders take their positions is because when they are in that representative capacity, it's not their personal feel good today, feel bad tomorrow opinions that we're looking for. We're looking for them to find some resonant position, some agreement with the general direction that the citizens want to pursue. They are not at liberty in that capacity to make certain decisions based on how they feel and what's convenient for them, because they have chosen, by virtue of going into leadership, they have chosen to move in accordance with what is best for the people, what the people desire, and it is not always the case that the people don't know what they want.
However, I think that what you are saying is what should happen.
I know.
Yeah, but it don't normally happen, so yeah.
That's about what should happen. But that's another thing. The next point I want to move on to say is the thing about women that somebody earlier had.
Yes, the women in Afghanistan.
I noticed and I agree and congratulate the producer this morning for cutting off a gentleman there. I would have probably done the same thing. Another one used to come on to a particular cult, I think, talking about we are Israelites and things like that, and at one point the producer had to stop him too. And they for example said that women should not preach in church. I shouldn't make any sound because in the Bible says that a woman should keep quiet. And listening to their program, they have a program on your station from about 5 to 7 on a Sunday evening, and they promote things like like these.
Mm-hmm.
And they say that if a woman preach in church or say it in church, she should be shorn, strip her head trim.
Yes, yes. Only bald women.
And if she's a disgrace or something like that to the community, that's, I guess it's something like it is in the Bible. In that same light, I think some people misinterpret the part where the Bible said that men should be head and women should not be the head. I don't remember the exact word.
And we don't need to repeat it.
Right, and I discussed it with even women who agree that a woman should be the head of both soul and a woman should be the head. And I don't see any logical reason why I think anybody can be head, and I think both should be equal, right? And so what the Taliban and those people are doing with those women, I think that it is wrong, and women are just as capable as men to do anything as far as we're concerned. It's just that I think that physically that they are made up different in certain respects.
Yes, Pastor is itching to say something to you, and one of our listeners, Big Truck, say I must say hi to you.
Okay.
Yeah. So hi. Oh,
Hi.
Pastor.
No, there's a perspective. Do you know that the portion in Scripture in Ephesians that speaks about the man being the head of the woman, it also saying being head, they are the chief servant of everybody. But a lot of people think of it in terms of lording it over the person. You serve the person because you are co-equal in terms of how God sees you. If you go back into that same thing, you can read it for yourself. Ephesians 5, and understand the role that the man have to play. You are the chief servant. You're serving that lady. You're doing everything to make sure that that lady becomes the best that she can become. It's not a thing of beating up the person. A lot of people read it that way. Okay?
Respect, I'm not talking necessarily in the home, because I didn't want to go to this, but I'm going to cut it short.
Mm-hmm.
If a man and a woman married, and the woman is a trained mechanic, a properly trained mechanic, like when I was teaching the part at school.
So you expect her to fix the car because she have the expertise?
Yes, she's a properly trained mechanic that you take.
Right.
You know?
Let him finish. Go ahead.
Yes. Like that, when I was teaching the part at school, the auto mechanic teacher was a female.
Yes, man, I should know she had the both.
What I'm saying is, if she married to a man, the man is an accountant, for example, who don't know what about car, and they are going to buy a car. Some people will say, is the man must go look at this. When in this case,
that is true. That is true. And if she goes and she's expressing her opinion, some people looking on.
Because she's a woman.
Yeah, but some people looking on. If she managed to go, people looking on and like dismissing what she's saying and looking towards the man. Right here in Jamaica, it happens. Right here in Jamaica, it happens.
That's the point I'm making.
Yeah,
but I'm not in disagreement with that.
Oh, we don't think you are.
No, so it's opening.
You're not in disagreement that it happens, but you are in agreement with us that it's not right.
Right. Yeah.
Right. That's the point. That's the point I'm making. And they are saying she shouldn't say nothing because she's a woman. A man to know about car. This is just one example.
No.
But, those men lack revelation and need to be trained and there are some women.
That a lot of people are saying a woman to do that.
Yes.
Or the principal of a school or something like that. It should be a man. I've heard it said from teachers.
Yes, and how they're going to manage certain things. Listen, I've heard women say things like doing their womanly duties, and I become very curious about what those are. But out of politeness, I don't inquire. We do need a lot of education.
They mention in boys' school and so that women should be principal and so on. And most boys, if not all boys' school that I know, I taught at Calabar, JC, St. George's. And on all occasions, I think women is the majority on the staff.
Because teaching has become a very female profession anyway.
But there are some people who say it shouldn't be like that. That women should not be teaching that, right?
Yeah. So we are in agreement, my brother, that those discriminatory practices are to be changed. I won't describe them any other way. Right. Thank you for raising it. Yeah. Good morning and welcome.
Yes, good morning.
How are you, sir?
Welcome.
Welcome to the house of speaking truth, loving oneself, identify that identity, what it means to be loved. Because love is what? Care and share. And reach a stage is right here now. There is so much judgment around us. We have to analyze your spiritual awaken through that subconsciousness, a righteousness into the mindset. Because the mind is the biggest revolution starting within, because remember, I'm missing Minett and Pastor and who are listen. When you come into this world, you come into a system.
That's true.
Of oppression that enter your mind to enslave the mindset to not make you know that identity of your spirituality. You know there's a land. You know there's a God. You know there's a truth. And where it is to identify, to be personal, that will be a personal inner consciousness within the mindset. No one can stop that once you realize what is the truth, what is that identity, to acknowledge it for what it is.
So it sounds to me, it sounds to me like you're talking about integrity now, because that oneness that we're trying to achieve both in the spiritual and in the natural, if we get to that place, then the violence and the thievery and the the social injustice would
taking
stop.
Responsibility and acting out of the light that you have.
That merger of the spiritual and the natural self.
Spiritual, that is where we need to focus.
Yeah,
man. Come after we are. Hello?
Yes. You're still here. We're still
hearing you. Yeah, this is what I'm saying. Look at this now.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, the spiritual make its creation. Listen to me now. And the creation is human being that come into play.
Yes.
Want to dominate and do them one thing and not coordinate to the spiritual connection. Right now, Miss Lynette.
Yes.
What make a new year to be here?
Well,
what caused a new year to be here?
Okay, because it is the passage of time and how we record it. Why we recognizing that there's a seasonality to things. We say one season has ended, another has begun, and we start to count.
All right, isn't it?
Yes.
If you realize now, you're still into winter, come out of winter yet, So you can't make
in some parts of the world.
Have to make the change. Nature, where you see this, the lightning, the wind, the thunder, the water, them have to play the part they for coming out of winter to enter our spring.
True.
You agree with that, Mr. Minett?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, we agree with you.
And it's an issue that we have tackled before, that even the way we count the new year is not fully in alignment with nature, the natural order of things around us. But we started in January and we say a new year has begun.
And nature may I go with. May I go with the physical man.
Listen, my brother,
divine,
that is entirely
advancement.
That is entirely your right.
But we not take time out to observe nature more within ourselves. We drift around onto things that glisten and dazzle our eyes.
But
not dazzle the eyes of the spiritual awaken.
You see, for us to have this conversation properly. 1 second, let me just say something to you, and you factor it into your next statement. For us to engage in a useful way, I have to ask you, if in the operation of your relationships in society now, live out in the wilderness by yourself, where you can decide that today is Sunday and Sunday can run for any period of time that you want it. If in your relationship with man, you are using and running a different calendar, a man give you something on Monday, you record it as Sunday. You see how the room for conflict would arise. So there is a necessity as we live together for us to come to agreement on some things even though in your private reckoning of things, if you had to make a decision when to plant corn or when to reap the potatoes, or you wouldn't decide that I can only reap potatoes in November because that's when it's needed for Thanksgiving dinner. If you decided that when you go in the field for your potatoes, something else gone with it. I'm just saying that movement towards oneness or to have integrity operating in a space that is occupied by many human beings requires some compromises at different points.
You understand that, right?
Your turn.
Who have ears will hear.
Okay.
Who have eyes will see. Who have a knowledge to increase self-awareness within the mindset as how things setting. And remember, son, me and you set it at the system of who? The colonial. And once you realize that the mindset has a trap in a freedom system, not even they make you even drive fear, Miss Minett, unto your spirituality that is the supreme identity that is right in front of you right now, here, there, and everywhere.
Well, you know, I agree. I do agree with you. I agree with you that.
Miss Minett.
Yeah, but I want to put something to you now. I agree with you that we will not break the yoke of the colonial systems imposed on us unless
people know a direction.
Yeah, but you can't break it.
Positiveness.
You can break it through what you're talking about. If you get to that place of spiritual consciousness where you understand that it is imposed by something unnatural and you can break it, then you can break it and live that way. Thank you, my brother, for the conversation. We're at 9 a.m. and we have to take a station break.
All right, big up yourself.
You too.
All right.
He's coming back.
Yes, indeed, it's redemption time with Apostle Clive Campbell, presenting a life-changing, life-challenging message to encourage, inspire, and motivate you towards your destiny. Every Tuesday night from 9:30 p.m. until 12:30 a.m. and on Saturday from 9 o'clock until 10, right here on Bess100 FM. It's redemption time.
I'm standing firm.
Half a tree, one and drive, half a tree. Bossy, how you do I take taxi star?
Jano, I want to tell you, say, 2 months now, my transmission mash up, and me check everybody and can't hear nothing positive.
Yeah, hear me? You waste all that time I shop around and never call the experts. Winters Auto have them. Them have over 35 years of experience and them diagnose the problem and get back your transmission brand new. For them service excellent and efficient. Trust me, man. Yeah, hear me? Call them at 929-7040 or go to them at 106 Maxfield Avenue, Kingston 13 and talk directly to the boss. Just tell them I'm me, send you.
Wow, you big star. Yeah, man, respect my boss.
Yeah, try and call cause trust me.
Auto Spares and Repairs, good afternoon.
What a relief.
What should a taxi service do for you? On-time taxi service is more than just a ride to the other side of town. They offer clean and spacious vehicles, reliable service, and promise to always look out for their customers. They'll come when you call and take you where you want to go on time.
Call us at 926-3866.
We are something special on the road.
For a better choice in all your electrical supplies, A, authorized 3M dealer and better brand names. B, better service including free island-wide delivery. C, all major credit and debit cards accepted. It's ABC Electrical Sales. Shop number 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10. Open Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Saturday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. We make your electrical jobs as easy as ABC. Call 754-382-528 or fax 754-3659. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice.
Vejan Printers for all your printing needs. We specialize in calendars, flyers, brochures, and more. Call us today at 968-7506. That's 968-7506. Or visit us at 4 East Bloomsbury Road, off Hagley Park Road. Vijay Printers, your best choice in printing.
Jamaica, we're going up and not under. No more slaves any longer. We were once weak, but now we are stronger, stronger, stronger. Join me, Darren Chosen Smith, Mondays to Thursdays from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. inside Lifted, right here on Bess100 FM, 100.1 to 100.9 FM. Tune in and be informed, motivated, entertained, and spiritually lifted. Your weekdays will never be the same again. Mondays to Thursdays from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. inside Lifted on Bess100 FM, 100.1 to 100.9 FM. With yours truly, Darren Chosen Smith. Tune in and be lifted.
Bess100 FM is the authentic voice of Jamaica, promoting your prosperity with better vibes and better music. Let us promote your goods and services for you. Advertise with us. For more information, call our office at 876-276-8935. That's 276-8935.
The Morning Connection is not your usual talk show. We aim to stimulate discussion and chart new paths to self-empowerment. So please join us, Minett and Percy, on The Morning Connection, Mondays to Thursdays, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Bess100 FM.
It's good, it's better, but nothing beats.
Welcome back and good morning. Thank you to the caller who's been holding. Hello, welcome back. Hello. Good morning, welcome back.
Yeah, Miss Minett.
Yes, sir.
I want to ask you a question. The West, out of the West and the Eastern governments, which one you think are more honest and cleaner?
The challenge I have answering the question with accuracy is that I know more about one than I know about the other. And I have biases that would I couldn't give you a true answer, but I can say this. I love being in a democratic society. I would choose democracy over a totalitarian government, no matter how kind and benevolent they might be in, their disposition.
But isn't it the teaching of God, and God is like what you're against?
No, what the teaching of God would be like? No, I'm not against anything.
God's teaching is like a dictatorship.
No, it's a theocratic reign. And
no.
It is not like a dictatorship. That's your understanding. But mine, which I choose to live by, not by yours, mine is that in a theocratic reign, if you believe that your God is all-knowing, all-powerful, and is perfect in all his ways, then under a theocratic reign, you would trust in the application of what he says and what he desires for man as being the right and the best way.
Versus my 2% that function. Because
2%? You have as much as that?
2%. It's because he's infinite and I'm finite. And he knows everything.
But Santa, it is a matter of how much knowledge you have and how much understanding you have of these things. Minett. Yes.
I am not Santa, I'm Cruz.
Hey.
Okay.
Yes, but that
Santa is a white man with gray beard. Yes, I have white gray beard that my son wants to clean up.
And Santa,
but I won't do it to please him.
Cruz.
Yes, and Santa reconfigured the Satan.
Yeah, but you know what?
So I called you Santa deliberately.
Why you ask that question anyway? What you thinking, Mr. Cruz?
The West is one of the evilest empire on the face of the globe from ancient time.
The West, that wasn't in the West. The ancient evil empires were not in the West.
Or the East.
They were
the same one. They all break away. They're the same one.
You're talking about. So now you're looking at it in the spiritual realm, where any system that resembles what obtained in other geographic locations is the same type. So
why I'm talking about that? I heard you talking about Afghanistan. I didn't get everything because I dropped my son at school.
We weren't really talking about
worse thing happening in the West than what's going on in Afghanistan.
My brother, we were not talking about Afghanistan. We were talking about the Taliban's rules in relation to the women, and the West.
Understand.
Yeah, and the West not come nowhere near that.
Since when?
Nowhere near that.
If you're being honest and you look at what it is, you'd see the facts before you in terms of freedom to decide. Because remember this in a cruise, as much as you are saying, boy, God is a what him say, autocrat, dictator,
dictatorship.
You still have your free will to choose.
No, we don't.
Okay.
Under the regime of God, but have you ever lived in a theocratic regime?
No, I'm talking about like the government. No, we don't live in a country where we're free to choose. We never have that.
But Cruz, you always shift the argument, Paul. With the one place and you gone over this. We don't understand.
But here's the thing. Even if you're saying women have been treated worse by other civilizations or other countries, maybe even in the same Western hemisphere here, you can find a time in the past when women were treated in a worse way than what we're seeing in today's Afghanistan. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about right now, today. You are in favor of a regime, a policy against women working, against women in being educated. You think that there is anything happening in the West which approximates what has been imposed on these women in Afghanistan of today, 2023?
No.
Yeah, that's
no,
what we were talking about.
What I'm saying,
yes.
What you're crying about, education. What is education? What is education? It's the education that the West, with the Western people, have some of the most corrupt education on the face of the earth. Look at YouTube.
Yeah,
but
you can't talk about.
I don't want my son on YouTube.
Yeah, but
I'm trying.
But Cruz, don't shift the focus,
Yes.
We're talking about the education that other Afghanistans are getting of whatever quality. The boys can get something outside of the house. The women are to remain at home, and it's not like they're staying home to be homeschooled, and to be homeschooled for what end? Because they can't go outside and work, and there's no gainsaying that they could stay home and work. I suspect they don't want them to work at all. They must be looked after by the men who have that Old Testament responsibility to take care of the family because they're the head of the household.
Isn't the Old Testament God's law from the teaching I get?
Yeah, but
no, from way back.
They're
Cruz. You're just all over the place this morning.
Nah, but we can move with them.
I'm just saying. Okay, so your basic point is that you are saying that the Western way of doing things is worse than the East.
Yeah, it is worse. It is worse. They are more corrupt. They are more thief. They are more crooked.
But those are not ways of doing. Those are not ways of doing things. This morning I was making that point in something we were discussing, that a perversion of a good thing is not to be regarded as the thing itself. Like family is good, but in my family, my father beat my mother and my brother raped my sister. That doesn't mean that family is bad.
Yeah.
It just means that my family
the perversion
is a problem. That's what it means. But you wouldn't go around and say, because that's how it was in my family, all families are bad. The perversion of the thing cannot be confused with the thing itself. So in Jamaica, we have a democratic government and some kind of parliamentary independence. But it is creating... we are a democracy. A democracy is understood.
Is only for the rich man.
Democracy is understood by changing your government or your leadership in elections. They don't pass based on bloodline or you know,
coup or military.
Or like with the Pope, when the smoke comes out the window, you have chosen a Pope.
Any Cruz, you have another call.
One last thing.
Yes.
One last thing.
Yes.
Do we have to still mine stuff in this country, or can it stop?
It can stop. It can stop tomorrow if the government says enough of that. And I believe Jamaica has gone past the point where we should be digging up the soil to make a living, especially when one of the large bauxite companies talking about injecting 80 million US in the country in 1 year. You see how much money them thief in SSL in just whatever season from 20 people?
By the way,
there's much more money to be made doing other things, and I don't mean stealing or scamming.
Much
more money to be made
all right,
than
Cruz,
digging
you have
up
another
the soil.
caller, man. And this is your second bite of the cherry.
Yeah, no. One last thing. Where's that man that donates stuff down to here and pull around those kids? Where is he?
In America, I suppose. Yeah, and
Then-
you and I
they
are the
need
only.
to get him back down here.
That's what I think.
Here.
That is what I think. There should be an extradition request for him
Cruz-
to answer charges here.
Cruz,
Just
next
like
time.
him down here.
All right, Cruz. We have another caller waiting. All right. Call
All right.
back. Good. Good morning, caller.
Good morning and welcome. I was enjoying that.
I
Good
know,
morning.
Morning again.
Welcome.
Yes, I called earlier and I was told to call back.
Oh, Rasmandito. Rasmandito, hold on. Rasmandito, is Rasmandito? Hello? I'm not hearing him. I want to ask him a question, please. Open the call. Rasmandito?
Hello?
Yes.
Yes.
Is it okay, Rasmandito? Do you remember the last time you called us?
And I was
No,
told to call back.
yes, I know the producer said call back, but I want to bring to your memory the conversation we had on air on the prior occasion, and then you followed it up with a visit to the station, to the office here.
Yes.
And do you remember that as you were leaving, you were standing at the gate and cursing? Do you remember
I
that?
remember that. Yes.
So you would understand that the producer who witnessed all of it and all those of us who were standing there, we don't want to have another situation on air where the conversation gets contentious, you visit the studio, and then it gets problematic at the gate. So the producer has taken an executive discussion not to speak on air with you because we're not sure what your mindset is, and we're not trying to create problems either for you or for ourselves or for the listeners.
Can I promise you that I will
No,
remain
sir. I don't.
absolutely-
No, I think you can make that promise because I was standing in front of you out there at the station, and you couldn't keep that promise. You might not remember it, but you got so aggressive that you had to be put through the door.
Yes, Sister Minett. Yes, Sister
All
Minett.
right.
All right.
So I just wanted to let me tell you
Let me
something.
Just let me say one thing to explain.
Is it an apology? All right. Rasmandito, we're going to deal with the apology on another occasion because we have another caller who is online and we want to keep this peaceful and loving. All right? Good morning and welcome.
Hello.
Good morning. Welcome. Hello. I'm not hearing.
No, but
Good morning.
It's so.
Oh, the call disappeared.
But so in terms of the issue that people are raising in terms of the treatment of the ladies in Afghanistan and Cruz raising that question, and I'm saying Cruz is all over the place. I'm saying good morning, caller. Welcome.
Good morning and welcome.
Hello.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Yes, Miss Minett and
Yes.
Pastor.
Ah, my brother.
It's a great thing to gather the unification, a oneness that every eyes, ears, mind, into the fullness of the subconsciousness that in the mind. Only one way we can free ourselves
within the system is first acknowledge the identity, willing and humble, truthful within oneself. It's something that is everywhere with you, and there's no escape from it. There's no hiding place from it, but you don't, through your mindset where your hand are disturb, them tap into the frequency. That means you see yourself and you don't recognize yourself. That is your inner self, and you are the physical self.
Yeah, you're sounding like the Apostle Paul now, who says that there are those who look in the mirror, see their face, and go off forgetting it, and so they behave in a way that is not consistent with the image of God in which they are formed. I hear some passion in your voice, and I figure you are looking at what's happening in Jamaica, and you're thinking that if Jamaicans could just see themselves in the true identity in which they are formed, they would do so much better for self and for one another. And that is a burden that so many of us carry, because you can almost taste it. You know, but it's a struggle. Tell me.
Fear, Miss Minett.
Yeah.
You get the teaching into the mindset.
Yes.
Fear your spiritual self, and that is what I'm trying to explain to you. That is what I teach, repeating, beating, training, requesting, do everything to the mindset. Because are you hopeful at all that of this generation can break that yoke? I have some hope, because even yourself, you're talking to me about it. Because it sounds like it's our done in a minute.
All right. Say your last piece then, and keep listening.
It's a true technology.
Yes.
That's coming now. Have the mindset to connect, dragging to lead to our next dimension. That means that you have to not yourself anymore. You're just a total robot doing things beyond measures.
But
you understand?
Yeah, but as welcome caller. Yeah, but we have to come to a place, the free will that God has given us, even though the external trying to force us in a way, we can still make that decision to shift and to change.
Good morning. Welcome.
Good morning.
Yes.
Good morning.
Welcome. I have to really express this to the people who don't understand. God is coming like a nickname and the Prime Minister. The day when he was campaigning at St. Anne's in I don't remember. But
speak what he said.
The years from those people, man, they come share water them for work, so if you got their home. And when there was I don't remember place, but you will understand by expressing myself.
Yes.
Speak, Sheppy.
And when
Sheppy, what happened? Hello? Sheppy? Hello? Hello?
I think we lost the call.
Yeah, but he was talking, I don't know what he was saying.
We know for sure he was going to defend the Prime Minister.
But
good morning and welcome.
Hello, good morning.
All right.
Yeah, but a principle that we speak about and people still don't. Life and death is in the paw of your tongue, and you will eat the fruit thereof. We have to be so careful the things that we say and the titles we give unto ourselves, because you say something, it's out there in the atmosphere, and guess what happened? The fruit come at some point in time. And even with what I think has happened with the Prime Minister, how he started to project himself into the media and some other thing, it is following him. It looks like it is following behind of him, and it is not seen.
Good morning and welcome.
Yes.
I heard a line open a while ago.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
Good morning, caller. Welcome.
Hello. Good morning.
Welcome.
Hello. Good morning.
All right, so we have two calls colliding. Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning, Sheppy.
Good morning, my brother. How are you?
We're good. We don't know what happened a while, but go ahead and speak.
I was saying to you people, you see?
Yes.
That him have a nickname like it is something bad.
What's the nickname we're talking about?
Him have?
This the shoes that the Prime Minister take off.
Oh, the Clarks?
Have it as a nickname.
Bro Goddard Clarks.
That's bad. But listen, make me explain it.
Yeah.
There was a by-election. And when he got on there, he was campaigning. And where that MP was, he was a MP government with a rule. And the people have to walk. The people have to give back advice. The people have to walk to water from the day them born figure the fame in a film district. When he go down there, he said to them, because he have to walk through the water, roll up in his foot, and take off his shoes.
I mean in St. Mary, I remember it in St. Mary. St. Mary.
And tell his yes. And tell the lady that when I come back here, I will never take off my shoes. And I want you lady to come with me when I visit. And when the lady when the bridge built on, he go and he said, "Where's the lady?" And he walked over the bridge and he brushed off his shoes. And when he brushed off his shoes, he said that people are supposed to make his promise. The Prime Minister show Clarks. Some seminar go we no Clarks again and all those things.
So why are you revisiting this issue this morning, Sheppy?
No, because they might look like something bad.
I want to know.
And they have it as a nickname.
I want to know what has Pastor Percy and myself said this morning that has caused you to raise that issue on the program right now when we're talking about so many other more important things. What did we say?
No, this is what under today talk. It is something bad, and I'm going to say something else.
Say something else then.
When I check it out, why the Prime Minister have to show in Clark's shoes? Because he build the bridge and give the people them. And he called the lady before build the bridge and say,
what's the other thing you want to say?
So what is what?
What's the other thing you wanted to say? Yeah.
The other thing I wanted to say is Filipino. But the other thing yes, the guy this spoke about oh my God.
Is it about the women who are under oppression in another country? Can't work, can't go to school?
No, I just remember now.
Yes.
The Prime Minister have a duty. Anything him do, JPS supposed to bring it at the air. The gentleman,
JIS.
When Bill House and Gill, it is into a pink era. And he said anytime you get to build X amount of house for the people, but when he build it, will show himself. So there is nothing wrong with that. He must show the work we must do, where other governments never do.
But it's not him doing the work, Sheppy. It's taxpayer money putting people in houses that they need.
There's nothing wrong with it. He must spend it right. He's spending it right. Look here. No, do what they do.
All right, Sheppy, we have another caller on the line. Thank you, my brother.
I know that you would cut.
But stay on the line for me. This morning, we're talking about
genuine man. And he come out and speak.
All right, you can cut the call now.
Because you
cut the call now. This morning, we're talking about the abuse and oppression of women, the theft and plundering of people's personal accounts because of loose slack governance in our system. We've spoken about threats to the existence of mankind. And Sheppy want to come and spend my time talking about why the Prime Minister show his shoes. We got to step up the conversation.
We have to shift
People of Jamaica, we have to shift the mindset. Yes, ban Sheppy. Good morning.
Good morning, wonderful people all over Jamaica and in the house.
Good morning to you, madam.
How are you doing?
Very well.
Can I shift your argument a little bit because there's something that is happening?
Yes, go ahead.
I need to talk
to a higher plane, I hope.
No, the things that they use on the soil is killing out some nice sweet plants what we had that our ancestors used, like the snakeweed. I don't know if you know it.
I don't.
I mean, Shea Mary, that one? Shea Mary, that one you're talking about?
No, but Shea Mamaka.
She said snake weed.
I'm just wondering if people call it...
Snakeweed is something that lay down flat on the ground.
Okay.
And it bloomed with that point up in the air.
Okay.
And they used to give it to babies for tea and those things. When you go in the parts where it's spread, none of those things are there, you know. And I'm saying, why have we allowed ourselves to get involved in these things, killing off other plants and those kind of things? Spraying, instead of they go together and work and chop down the place, like how they used to chop it down and plant them things. Like 6 households get together, 6 men, and they chop down the place while the women cook. And when they don't chop it
but
down,
you know,
talk about the village. So you're talking,
and
all right, so Lady Love, you're talking about the use of insecticides and pesticides to just spray in the area, kill it out, versus managing it better.
As well.
Okay.
But you know, some of these things are done in ignorance, because when pests and so on were decimating our crops, we prayed to the Lord and said, could you give us something that could take care of this problem? And man, in his ingenuity and maybe misguided wisdom sometimes, created something. The fact of the matter is, and it's why it is good that we are finite, as Pastor said. We die. So we don't have to live to see the complete removal of all things that we knew and feel comfortable with. It is a thing for every society to manage how things change and what replaces it. Yeah. Because even the same cutting down of the area when men are chopping and women are cooking, something is being destroyed. It's just that we don't know. Yeah. And we have made a choice that it's better to go plant ginger up there, or that rather than leave the weeds that grow there naturally. So I get your point. There is great sadness when the water supply is contaminated, and when plants that we are accustomed to seeing in our area, they disappear. But we have to figure out how to manage it, because when we say we need more housing, we're right away clearing the land of some things that one day we might regret.
So what it speaks about, Lady Love, is how we balance it with the knowledge that we have. Yeah, right?
But the whole thing is that on these things like Roundup and those kind of things, they are banned in other countries.
Okay.
And it would be good to see us moving together again, doing the things that we used to do, because it was better than these. You can think about aloe vera. There's a spot in St. Mary that had a lot of aloe vera, guava and all that. People then cut it down and make houses at one time. And the other side now they use the spray. And it killed out the aloe vera that was there.
Okay.
And those things are very helpful things.
Yeah.
That's what I want to talk about.
All right, my dear.
All right.
As we talk about, we as women, we need to help educate so that we don't kill out the things that are in the place. I'm so surprised about some of the things that I did. No.
Yes.
Anyway.
Yes, it's 9:31. Thank you. You too. We have to take our station break.
What should a taxi service do for you? On-time taxi service is more than just a ride to the other side of town. They offer clean and spacious vehicles, reliable service, and promise to always look out for their customers. They'll come when you call and take you where you want to go on time.
From anywhere at all, you can call us at 926-3866.
We are something special on the road.
Veg Printers for all your printing needs. We specialize in calendars, flyers, brochures, and more. Call us today at 968-7506. That's 968-7506. Or visit us at 4 East Bloomsbury Road, off Hagley Park Road. Veg Printers, your best choice in printing.
For a better choice in all your electrical supplies, A, authorized 3M dealer and better brand names. B, better service including free island-wide delivery. C, all major credit and debit cards accepted. It's ABC Electrical Sales. Shop number 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10. Open Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., Saturday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. We make your electrical jobs as easy as ABC. Call 754-382-528 or fax 754-3659. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice.
Praise the Lord, praise the Lord. God is good. This is your radio pastor and friend, Reverend Simon Peter Jones, inviting you, my friends, to listen every Tuesday evening on Bess100 FM at 7:30 p.m. for the program The Voice of Hope, as we extend hope to the hopeless in this dying world. God is good. Be encouraged. Hope is in the Lord.
He's coming back.
Yes, indeed, it's redemption time with Apostle Clive Campbell, presenting a life-changing, life-challenging message to encourage, inspire, and motivate you towards your destiny. Every Tuesday night from 9:30 p.m. until 12:30 a.m. and on Saturday from 9 o'clock until 10, right here on Bess100 FM. It's redemption time.
I'm standing firm.
Jamaica, we're going up and not under. No more slaves any longer. We were once weak, but now we are stronger, stronger, stronger. Join me, Darren Chosen Smith, Mondays to Thursdays from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. inside Lifted, right here on Bess100 FM, 100.1 to 100.9 FM. Tune in and be informed, motivated, entertained, and spiritually lifted. Your weekdays will never be the same again. Mondays to Thursdays from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. inside Lifted on Bess100 FM, 100.1 to 100.9 FM. With yours truly, Darren Chosen Smith. Tune in and be lifted.
Hey, what's up? It's your girl, Lady Lee, the Queen of the South, and I'm inviting you all to trailblaze with me on the best of the best radio station, the Bess100 FM, Mondays through Thursdays, 2 to 5 p.m. You can't afford to miss it on your airwaves. Yes, trailblaze with Lady Lee right here, Mondays to Thursdays, 2 to 5 p.m. on the best of the best, Bess100 FM. Mwah.
The Morning Connection is not your usual talk show. We aim to stimulate discussion and chart new paths to self-empowerment. So please join us, Minett and Percy, on The Morning Connection, Mondays to Thursdays, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Bess100 FM.
It's good, it's better, but nothing beats.
To the caller on the line, thank you for holding. Good morning.
All right. Thank you for making me hold in.
Hi, Wayne. How are you?
I'm good. Yeah, man.
You're called to defend Sheppy from Minett's wrath.
Not defend no one, you know. The point is, I don't say the more things change, the more things remain the same.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so basically, you know, we find ourselves keep saying the same thing over and over again. Years come, years go. You know, so we just need to do what we need to do. We need to try the laws of Christ. You know, that's the only thing that me not say man try it, you know. 1 and 2 people try it along the way. But generally, the nation, we don't see that happening yet. You know, the prophecy show it happen, but we don't see it happening yet. So you say, these politicians keep doing what they're doing over the years, over 60 years now. They might do what they might do. You know, it's like we still sit down and take them talk, I make them do what they might do. Same way and them not change, and it's like we are look for them for change. And them not change. I mean, I guess just we, the conscious mind, have to just come together and stand up for the change. Because most people out there still, to me, I feel like they're more interested in material gain.
Yes.
Instead of justice and righteousness. Because that's the fundamental value of life, Justice and righteousness.
It comes down. So it kind of comes down to your priority, because as you speak, I'm thinking it is entirely possible for you to want to prosper personally without it being at the expense of the people that you serve. Your personal growth and prosperity can easily come from serving people well. And I'm not hearing you. For some reason, there was some static on the line, and then your voice just disappeared. Are you still hearing me?
Yeah,
I'm hearing you
now.
now. Yeah.
All right. Yes,
but do you agree with me, Wayne?
I fully agree with you.
Yeah, okay. So you heard me.
Because the Lord is abundant, There's nothing, we're not short of nothing, We don't short of anything. We have more than enough to supply us in all our natural needs.
Yeah.
Right? The only thing them shorter is mercy, justice, and righteousness. You know, short of nothing otherwise. Some people just want to back up all of the gold for themselves and talk how rich them in.
Yeah.
And have all type of thing for them own personal self. So them find themselves sit down and have scheme ways of
get more.
Of overtax the people them, and then them just ill-treat the people them, It's not like nothing short, not short, We have more than enough that we want. And the Lord can provide even way more than where we have.
That is true. That is true.
As Pastor I say, fix the 20%, but me say fix the 10%. I would have get the 90% in
sorted.
And the 10% is the 10 Commandments. Let's fix that. Let's fix that liberty there amongst ourselves, and everything else fall in place.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Wayne.
All right. One more thing now, I got to say. I got to ask this, Pastor. Right? I go on fasting sometime, Pastor.
I'm on fasting as we speak.
You're on fasting?
Yeah.
How long you ever fast for? 3 days a week?
21 days.
21 days?
Mm-hmm. But it's not it's not a full 100% fast. Like I'd fast, depending on what kind of fast. But the longest I fast absolute is a week.
So help me now. Meaning you're not eating or drink nothing?
Just drink, just water. I need to be hydrated.
Just water?
Yeah.
I'm never ask you now, you just drink water in the evening, or you ever drink little during the day, or just in the evening alone and drink little water?
No, throughout the day. Your body has to be hydrated if you're continuing to work. I move up and down.
Yeah. Because, alright, one more thing now. When a person dies, right? Why should the living make a big abaloo over it when themselves are gonna die one day?
Well, it's not the death that people mourn. They just mourn the person's disappearance from their everyday life. You miss the person. I mean, death, as you say, comes to all of us. In fact, some of the things that make us impatient, we know that in death that won't be a problem, so we can relax ourselves. But to the survivor, your son, your daughter, your child, when you disappear and they put you in the ground, it's a sad event because they know there's no going to mommy and talking to mommy and
our daddy,
hugging up daddy, and it's the end of that relationship which people mourn.
Yeah, well, you see these politicians.
Yes.
I hear just them do what them do, and them say once beaten, twice shy, 3 and 4 times, and I say probably foolish. You know, so
Yes.
the thing is that they say we the conscious-minded who really understand and see what go on and know we need to do something. The only thing my elder show me right now is for us to unite and organize with intellect and make the change, you know. We can't look for them to make no change. We cannot look for them to make no change.
That's true.
Anyway,
And the way our politicians are is an extension of who we are. So if we don't change, it's unlikely they're going to change.
All right. Bless up on.
Thank you, my brother.
Always enlightening. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Wow, what a morning.
Let me see now.
I've never seen my beautiful co-house
Gets strict.
Yes, strict.
All right, I have to do it more often because I'm known more for being strict.
You serious?
Is that true, Lowell?
You know,
Am I known for being strict?
Used to be.
Yeah.
You mean that she has mellowed?
It's different.
No, but you know, and I'm really very tolerant of every kind of expression of idea, and some of you who call and your ideas might be covered in a great deal of mysticism. We'll spend some time and we tease out what it is you're really saying, and there's great beauty in that. But if what you're really saying is something that really does not need to be said at all or at this particular time, once we expose it, rest assured you will know how I feel about it. And I too have my freedom of speech and thought and conscience and so on. I'm not on this program just because I'm some kind of open door. I am not an open door, far from it. My purpose is to expose ideas and encourage discussion and self-evaluation. But once you reach the point where what you are is obvious and clear to those listening, looking, you have to deal with yourself and change.
There's no dialogue.
And if you are remaining stubborn about your focus and your ideas are not progressive, not for you, not for society, I don't have patience for that. I don't. We all have a limited amount of time in this world, and some of us have a limited amount of time when we're conscious and have sense. I don't know which category I fall into. I pray that I will live long and be sharp-minded right to the last day. But should it be otherwise, I know that I'm accountable for all my words and actions. So I'm not going to spend time with Sheppy. Yes, Earl Brown, he has freedom of speech and he used it well. I have freedom of speech too. And my freedom tells me I need to say to him and any other listener who feels that you're at liberty to just call the show and we're talking about apples and you want to talk about soup and nobody can move you in a different direction. No, it's not like that. We're having a dialogue. We're moving ideas in a progressive way. We're going somewhere with this. So don't feel that you can just call and shift it all over the place as you feel a mind. When we accommodate that, it's because there is some purpose to that accommodation. Because I know we're not all at the same place. So I don't like what Sheppy, he's like, Sheppy, wait until we're in a moment. And then he called to talk about the Prime Minister's shoes. Even to reflect on it is irritating to my spirit. I don't care why the Prime Minister took off his shoes. And if he got a nickname out of it, next time keep your shoes on.
But the worst part of it is that he's given himself names and it is following him and him can't shed it.
Well, maybe Sheppy can help him with that.
In terms of saying you need to do that.
You know, we pride ourselves on the show of being balanced. And certainly you try to facilitate as many persons as you can on the show. When persons decide to use this show to further their own agenda, you know, ignoring all else, then there is a problem. You know, Rasmandito will not call the show again if I have anything to do with it.
No, he may call,
because
but he won't speak on air.
He will. Thank you for the correction. Because again, this is a person who is just single-minded. He has one agenda, and that's it. And he wants to advance it, you know, at all costs.
And it really is not about Marcus Garvey, by the way.
Call the show, and I don't care who it is. You must be respectful.
Yeah. But by the way, right? Rasmandito's agenda is not about Marcus Garvey.
No, it's his personal agenda.
It's something.
And he prides himself as being a prophet and you know, talking about prophecy and all of that. But that's his thing. Similarly,
we love
I don't
prophets.
care who it is. You cannot call here and listen, don't disrespect people here. So speak respectfully. Of course, you can have difference of opinion. And sure, you can voice your difference of opinion. But there's just a manner of speaking that we're not going to entertain. I'm sorry. There are other shows. There are other shows all over the place that you can call, and maybe they'll allow you to do it. But certainly not this one.
What about you, Pastor Percival? Is it open season?
Never is.
All right.
It never is with me, and people need to understand. And some of the times, I could respond to people. I feel one hand say.
It's not me. That hand you feel squeezing you. It's not me you hear, Lowell. Somebody else.
Invisible hand.
Squeezing Pastor Percival.
No, because some of the times, as Royal is prone to say, we're not going on that rabbit hole. People know what the rabbit hole is. You go down there, you keep all over the place.
You enter this strange world of Alice in Wonderland.
You're going on
because
rabbit hole.
Some rabbit holes are graves, but others opening to some strange experiences that nobody wants to encounter. Let me just share with you what Delroy Henry has said. He says, Miss Lawrence, what people fail to understand, it's taxpayers' money the government is using. The PM is not using his personal cash. Government must be held accountable for every tax dollar spent. True words. Of course, I think this in part is in relation to the PM
the housing
profiling as he used taxpayer money to make houses for people who need it. And then Earl Brown weighed in on it and said it is better to spend taxpayers' money on the people than using the people's money to buy big chateaus in France. I know Earl is a world traveler, you gotta tell us. But Conrad had said earlier on the chat, if we recall that last year he said something big is coming. You remember that?
Yes.
I do remember he said some big thing is coming. Of course, it wasn't a big fat Santa. What he was referring to, he says here, is that bombshell fraud outing of what's going on with SSL. So he says, Minett, did I not tell you something big was coming? This was it. And then he says, find out which MP bought restaurant in Canada. And he says, bold money has been spreading for a while. Oh, what a tragic thing.
But he said that a long time ago, so it means that's been happening for a while.
But this thing, as they're saying, people knew about it. Because, and that's why, to the first point, that kind of money don't move without attracting attention.
It has to move. It's $900 million.
And it doesn't happen overnight.
No, man.
Don't happen overnight.
There's a significant amount of money. There's a significant amount of money.
So an MP has bought a restaurant in Canada. All I would say is I hope it is on the declaration that's been filed with the Integrity Commission.
That. And then we can close on that. Integrity.
Location.
I'm not into marketing. I'm just talking about the thing
that's
about
real estate. That's real estate.
The issue of integrity it just keeps coming. It just keeps coming.
you see it being referred to in almost all the calls that my brethren who speak so mystically was talking about. I made a note. He was talking about at one moment. If you can reconcile your natural self with your spiritual self, integrity again.
Yep.
And then to the point that my point of the morning coming out of that conversation with him is that when you get to that place of oneness as an individual, you are now in strength to fight the things that oppose you. While you're all over the place and you don't realize that this that you're supporting, the job that you do, the way where you work and the things you do for your job are in conflict. Those things are in conflict with your peace of mind and your soul as God fashioned you. Those people who you see them at work, and as you approach them, they are so unpleasant and stressed. And when they talk to you, they can't give you any good service because they don't enjoy what they're doing. And they know they should be doing something else. But what else is there? Can you imagine people working in SSL? Those who are not a part of the fraud. Just imagine you work in that office and you see things happening that you know are inconsistent with the regulatory scheme under which the business is operated, and you can't say anything?
Yeah.
Can you imagine knowing that, or being forced to sign something, approve something, or being told that this is apple when it's really an orange and everybody can smell the rind?
But as you close with that, remember in the PC Petrodram trial, the lady said it, and she said she was fired. And the man said, "Me not sign that." But
no, when she refused to sign something, and she had that one tell her some cute way to try and avoid it, and then them said, "Can't go forward without your signature," and she was eventually compelled to sign some document. Another man, somebody else said when they refused, they were suspended for 5 days. Or persons working under those situations of stress cannot achieve integrity.
No, but why the man achieved integrity? Say, "Me not sign it, so they can do the best they can." Even though he lost his job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, what a note on which to end the morning's program. Thank you to those on air and online who have supported us this morning. We've had some interesting discussions, and some really big issues have been opened up. You know what? We are going from strength to strength because we mean to have impact. And my brother Sheppy, I know you love the producer, so next time you call, I'll make sure his microphone is open. You are not banned. I think there are like maybe two persons that when they call, we go on high alert. But outside of that,
you have to practice.
Yeah, just remember when you're calling, let it be a worthy. Use your words and the time on air well, so you uplift others and you are confirming something good about yourself. Thank you very much, Mr. Engineer. I see you all wrapped up warmly because the new AC is still firing. I, for one, take great pleasure in wearing a blazer or two. And Pastor, thank you so much also for journeying with me this morning. Have a great day, everyone.
Yeah, you don't give thanks for life. Listen to Stepper, I am integrity. Listen to the words sound. Listen to the words. Feel the power. Don't complicate simplicity. I'm integrity, yeah. Now say like soul for vanity. I stand firm. I stand with dexterity. I'm integrity, yeah. Now say like soul for vanity. I stand firm. I stand with dexterity. Well, this a national integrity action. When me chat me lyrics, me a leak out corruption. No for them in a suit, when you check it, them a con man. Nah, no briefcase, but them a babaga scandal. I see them as culprits, outright vandals. Them a step in a feces, whether in a shoes, barefoot or in a sandals. I tired of this, be a lion of this. Seize, this is I'm integrity, yeah. I say lie, soul for vanity. I stand firm. I stand with dexterity. I'm integrity, yeah. I say lie, soul for vanity. I stand firm. I stand with dexterity. I stand before you today, my people, to urge you on this journey to recognize self. The journey where leaders will put humanity before thievery. The journey when we will no longer manage mismanagement. The journey where the done will stop being a mere pawn of nothingness. A journey where charities will give, where pastors will stop dig. A journey of mere love. The ultimate resource of a nation is its people. Step out of your basement and rise to your steeple. A journey, hey, I'm integrity, yeah. Now say lie, soul for vanity. I stand firm, I stand with dexterity, yeah. I'm integrity, yeah. Hot. A journey of integrity, a journey of self, a journey to rise above corruption, a journey where our leaders can lead, a journey where we will become the revolution.
I'm tired of this nothingness. I'm integrity. I am integrity. Look in the mirror. Look at yourselves and rise your lives, my people. Leaders, lead. Community people, stop being petty. Vote for something. Vote not for nothing. Vote for integrity. Yes. Listen. National Integrity Action. You Crime Watch of Jamaica.
You got to make it better. For the youths, them future, no, we can't still and go on like when I say something kind of go wrong still. And we don't talk without the truth of the flame. To the world, again. You feel like a bad man, keep it to yourself. Don't bring it to Jamaica, keep it to yourself. We don't want that a jam rock, keep it to yourself. We can't take no more slackness. You can change the laws of man, but you can't change the laws of God. So if they're not enough because they're glad. And if you change, I must see mad, they mad. Somebody tell me what is happening. I don't want no fish in my ital dish to see my son become a father. I'm a greatest wish. The situation kind of very ticklish, but everybody fed up from parish to parish. Yes, and to whom it may concern. I know that the way we